Is in full bloom in Eugene, Oregon. Perfect weather for a matchup between Maryland and the Oregon Ducks. Wouldn't be a game at Autzen Stadium without the entrance from the world-famous Duck mascot here in Oregon. Nothing like dancing with the Duck as the team about ready to make their way out onto Autzen Stadium's field. Short walk from across the parking lot behind the chopper. Here come the Ducks flying into Autzen. The #1 team in the country back in Eugene and taking on the Maryland Terrapins. Football on the Big Ten Network is presented by Hampton by Hilton. First ever matchup between these two programs. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Eugene, Oregon with Jake Butt and Brooke Fletcher down on the field. Jeff Levering with you. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. And Jake, it's the #1 team in the country, #1 in the updated CFP playoffs. And you got a Heisman Trophy candidate, maybe the favorite in Dillon Gabriel. But let's talk about the defense. This is an amazing group that nobody talks about.
Yeah, listen, scoring's never been a problem for Oregon. And really, that's why you go get a defensive head coach in Dan Lanning. Now they are a complete team. #11 in total offense and defense. And because of that, they were rewarded with the #1 overall ranking in the first edition of the College Football Playoff rankings earlier this week. Well, now it's November. What's November about? This is championship season. It's where the best teams solidify their spot and begin to separate. How does Oregon do that? Yes, the defense will need to continue its success, but they're going to rely heavily on their elite quarterback. As you mentioned, he's been so good this year. He's got a chance to be in New York celebrating the Heisman if he continues on this path. What makes Dillon Gabriel so special? Well, to me, it's his Olympic archer level accuracy, pinpoint accuracy. When that ball leaves his hand, it goes exactly where it needs to be. But all great teams need a quarterback. They need a leader. It's his leadership ability that settled everyone else around him.
Let's go to the other side of the football field. Maryland, they've got some elite wideouts in this game too.
Listen, it's going to be a tall task to compete with or upset Oregon, but if you're going to do that, you need to score points. They got some great wide receivers, and these guys, Ty Felton and Caden Prather, they got the respect of the Oregon Ducks staff. They called these guys 2 NFL wide receivers. The key today is we know what they can do with the ball in their hands. The Maryland offensive line has to give Billy Edwards time so they can go out there and make some plays. This is a fun offense, expecting a fun game. This environment's got me fired up, man. I can't wait to watch.
This crowd is in a frenzy. Let's go downstairs to Brooke Fletcher if she can even hear us. Dillon Gabriel becoming the absolute best version of himself here in Eugene.
Well, listen, Jeff, when you're the quarterback of the #1 team in the country and in Heisman conversation, you would imagine you'd feel some sort of pressure. But Dillon Gabriel told me he's just so comfortable in this offense right now. He just wants to focus on being present. He's been on teams in the past where they've been so fixated on the fast starts and the strong finishes, not talking about the in-between. So he's just reminding himself that these middle games, they matter. Do not get ahead of yourself. Now, he does face a challenge with Tez Johnson out here in this game here. It leaves an opportunity for other guys to step up. Gary Bryant Jr. was listed as questionable. I talked to Dan Lanning. He told me he wanted to see how he felt during warm-ups, keeping an eye on that. I saw he was practicing with the ones. He appeared to be okay, so he could possibly be in the mix here, guys. Offensive coordinator Will Stein told me that there's almost this sigh of relief when he is out on the field. That's the type of calmness he brings to this offense. When he speaks, they listen. It'll be a big boost if he's out here, guys.
Maryland won the toss and elected to take the football. Atticus Sappington ready to kick it away for Oregon. Octavian Smith back deep for the Terps. And away we go at Autzen. Fair catch called for, and we get our first look at this Maryland offense. They are high flying. Most yards in the passing game in the Big Ten Conference, 314 yards through the air. Billy Edwards had a tough week a couple of weeks ago against Minnesota.
Listen, Billy Edwards is capable. We talked about in the open, he's surrounded by weapons. All that's good and well, but none of it matters if he does not have protection. You see that last stat there, 31 hits taken on the season. This is a ferocious Oregon Duck defensive line. They're hungry to get after him. Billy Edwards capable, but he's got to have the time to distribute that ball.
Hemby gets the carry, and he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage and going backwards. Senior linebacker Jeffrey Bassa in on the stop. 30 tackles, 6'2", 235, and chisel. Hemby gets it again. Good run on 2nd down and 9. It's 3rd down and 3 for Maryland.
Well, this is the world Maryland would love to live in. They've struggled to run the ball all season. If they can run the ball, they'll get into third and manageable situations where anything's on the table. Freshman left tackle Therese Davis getting the start today. It's a key matchup to watch there versus the edge of the Oregon defensive line.
Edwards to pass on 3rd and 3 to the outside. Incomplete. Looking in the way of Ty Felton. Wanted a flag, didn't get it. And a 3 and out forced by this Oregon defense.
It'll be really fun to watch the coverage plan of this Oregon secondary. This time it's number 0, Tashim Johnson. And right there, that's a hold and a missed call by the officials. See Ty Felton pleading his case. That is a missed call, but that time one-on-one coverage with Johnson. Going to see what the coverage plan is as this offense runs through Ty Felton.
Evan Stewart back to receive the punt from Bryce McPherson. Remember, no Tez Johnson, and this one will be whistled dead before it even gets going. That procedure on Maryland.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Looked like number 41, Rex Fleming, the left tackle on their punt team. This crowd is loud, Jeff. This is my first time out here. They said this environment was fiery. I can confirm. That time maybe the crowd noise getting to Rex Fleming and causing a false start.
Capacity is 54,000, yet they jammed in over 60,000 against Ohio State a few weeks ago. Bobbled snap! Oregon got its hands in there. Somehow McPherson able to get something away, and it takes a Maryland bounce. Got a flag down in the area of where McPherson got rid of that football. 27-yard punt, but we'll check on the penalty.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense number 27. The ball was not tipped.
So Maryland catches a break.
Yards, automatic, first down.
Offense will stay on the football field.
Yeah, so for McPherson, he bobbled that initially, and you have to get it. He still is the punter. You got to get a piece of the ball if you want to contact the punter. So a little strange beginning to that play, but McPherson was able to pick it up and get the punt off, and that's where the personal foul just came.
Yeah, it was Dalen Austin, the freshman nickelback. So here's the Terps offense back on the field as Hemby goes in motion. Empty backfield for Billy Edwards. Edwards to the outside. First catch of the ball game, and it's near a first down for Caden Prather. Get those guys out in space.
It's the Maryland offense. A lot of quick game. The offensive line has struggled to protect Billy Edwards. So quick game and screens, that complements their running game. They want to try to slow down and exhaust the Oregon Duck defensive line. Something to watch out for throughout the day.
On to the Oregon side of the football field. They gave him a first down. Edwards across the middle, another catch. That was Preston Howard on the reception. A couple of catches 2 weeks ago against Minnesota. That one good for 13 yards and some tempo for Maryland.
Billy Edwards has the fastest time to throw of any quarterback in the Big Ten. He does not hang on to the ball long. Seeing that on this drive.
Hemby stutter step and then brought down. Derek Harmon brought him down from behind after a pickup of 3.
We track this, so the average time to throw from the time the ball gets snapped to when the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, Billy Edwards is 2.28 seconds. He knows this offensive line hasn't been great at protecting. The adjustments will come for Oregon to try to present muddy pictures and take away the quick game.
Edwards again looking middle, looking deep and incomplete. Intended again for Felton. You take a look at this offense and the skill positions are out there. You love Prather and Felton on the outside. Hemby is your #1 running back, but this offensive line a work in progress. And the offensive line coach even gone over the last couple of weeks.
Yep, and they'll have their work cut out with them. They're relying on a freshman at left tackle. You see number 72 there, Therese Davis, getting the start in a big-time environment. He's protecting Billy Edwards' blind side. That's a position to watch throughout the game.
3rd down and 7, and on this opening drive, thanks for the penalty, maybe 4-down territory as Edwards gets his man. That is the tight end, Dylan Wade, and move the sticks for the Terps.
Coach Loxley loves Billy Edwards. This is a guy that's waited his turn behind Talia Tagovailoa, came in spots throughout his career. Now this is his team and his offense. You mentioned earlier, Jeff, no team in the Big Ten averages more passing yards per game than Maryland. And obviously a lot of that is on the back of Billy Edwards.
Remember, this drive got extended because of the personal foul penalty on the punt after a 3-and-out was forced. Defense back on the field. Edwards, lots of time, flushed out, wants to throw, and Hemby knocks it down. Let's go out to Los Angeles. Dean Blandino on your explanation on that personal foul.
The key is it obvious that a scrimmage kick is going to be made? And so when the ball is dropped, now you have to make that ruling. And the officials determined that the punter did regain the football, and it was clear that the defender has to recognize that. So that's the key. That's why they threw the flag. It's close, does that defender have that opportunity to recognize that a kick is going to be made? That's what the decision came down to.
Thanks so much, Dean. Drive continues. 2nd down and 10. Hemby trying to get to the outside. Slips through one. Drives those legs inside the 15-yard line. 3rd down coming up for Maryland.
Maryland would love if they could continue getting some help on the from the rushing game today. 14th in the Big Ten, 107th in college football. They have just not been able to get anything out of the running game. Roman Hemby is talented. He was a freshman All-American, but really just hasn't been able to provide that spark that they need. But so far in this drive, he's been able to get them a few chunk plays.
They're going empty. Edwards. Incomplete. Looking Wade's way. The lone wide receiver option on the bottom side of your screen led him too much.
Yeah, I mean, he had him. This is a missed opportunity. On 3rd and 3, that's considered open. That's a pass Billy Edwards has to make. In order to beat Oregon, you have to be effectively perfect. That's a missed opportunity to end what was a really nice drive for the Terps.
32-yard field goal attempt from the left hash for Jack Howes. And a whistle blows this one dead.
False start. Offense, number 46. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And push him back an extra 5 yards. Turns it into a 37-yard try. 2nd penalty on Maryland. And both pre-snap.
See Loxley fired up. He knows the gravity of this moment and how few opportunities this Ducks team gives to their opponents. Have to take advantage of it. That was a made field goal. Now you got to line up and try it again.
Now from 37 for Howes. Kick is good. That thing was almost blocked. Dillon Gabriel, Heisman hopeful, and the number 1 high-flying Oregon Ducks offense will take the field when we return. Jake, today's Impact Player sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance.
This Ducks offense is so multiple. They can beat you in so many ways. Jordan James is the leader of the running game. Number 4 in the Big Ten in forced mixed tackles and yards after contact. Tez Johnson is out, wide receiver 1. That means Evan Stewart is supposed to have a big game. And then for the defensive front, Aking Basote. He's the leader. The Ducks are without their starting guard, Marcus Harper, today. He's going to need to have a big game.
And Dillon Gabriel on the other side, number 1 in college football in completion percentage. He's going to get the football here after this kick. A pretty impressive drive from Maryland that got a second chance in that drive after the personal foul penalty. What a scene here at Autzen. This is the first time you're watching the Ducks at home on the Big Ten Network. In for a treat. Touchback takes it out to the 25-yard line. The offensive lineup for Dan Lanning and his number 1 Oregon Ducks. The skill positions, you're going to need something out of this wide receiver group with no Tez Johnson, as you mentioned.
And they got weapons everywhere, but every quarterback has that favorite wide receiver. That was Tez Johnson. They have been developing something special. They'll be without him for a while, so we're going to see today who Gabriel looks to in big-time situations. Also in the front, they're going to be without starting guard Marcus Harper, number 55. So we'll see 2 guys rotating, Rogers and Iuli.
Iuli is going to get the start on this first play and first drive for Oregon. High snap out to Gabriel. Gabriel, and an incomplete pass, looking for Jordan James, and he dropped it. Here's the Terps defensive alignment. Very young in the secondary.
Yes, the strength of the Terps is their defensive line. They've been solid against the run, but as you mentioned, that back end is vulnerable, giving up the most passing yards of any defense in the Big Ten. Of course, we talked about the Heisman hopeful Dillon Gabriel, certainly capable to threaten secondaries. They're going to need to play their best game today.
James gets the carry and runs right into the front of the line, maybe 3 yards. It's 3rd down and 7 for Oregon. Oregon team that went into the Big House and beat Michigan 38-17 last week. It was the first trip for a lot of those players going to the Big House, including Dan Lanning. 21 points in the second quarter. They've dominated the first half of games. 3rd and 7 for the Ducks. Gabriel all kinds of time across the middle, incomplete. 2 drops on this opening possession. And Terrence Ferguson had his hands on it, usually a sure-handed tight end, and it's a 3-and-out for Oregon.
Aside from the first 2 weeks this season, Oregon has been dominant. They have not made many mistakes, and that can't be said about the other top-ranked teams in college football. Many people have wondered, when is Oregon going to come back down to earth? Are they going to struggle? And this first drive, certainly uncharacteristic for how good Oregon had been playing in the recent weeks.
Ty Felton back to receive the punt. It's off the side of the foot and flutters maybe to the 40-yard line. They will give him exactly the 40. A gorgeous night in Eugene, Oregon. Maryland's got the football up by 3.
You know you'll be ready when you're ready.
A battle of pond animals. The Ducks and the Terps, 3-0. How about today's Impact players? Jake, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance.
These 2 guys, Ty Felton and Caden Prather, it's one of the best wide receiver duos in the conference. The Oregon coaching staff said these are NFL wide receivers. So what's the antidote? Well, you need to rush the passer. That's what you get with Uyunglele. And then Jabbar Muhammad is the team's leading cornerback, transferred in from Washington last year. He's going to have the tall task of matching up with Ty Felton.
2 in the backfield on this first down play. Hemby goes in motion. Handoff goes to the right side. The freshman Nolan Ray gets the carry and a gain of 3 on first down. The Oregon defense has been on the field a lot in this opening quarter. Jordan Birch back in the lineup for Oregon. He is a monster, 6'6", 295.
And could tie his shoes standing up. That man's got some long, long arms.
Edwards. Catch made and out of bounds. Let's go downstairs to Brooke Fletcher.
Yeah, guys, after that last drive, Mike Locksley came over to this wide receiver group and laid one into them, said, hey, it's wide open. You've got to stay with the signal. Pay attention to the clap. He is clearly not happy with the way this wide receiver group is communicating. Needs them to get on the same page.
Big 3rd down coming up. Thank you, Brooke. Oregon brings 3. Edwards on the slant, incomplete, broken up. Top 5 team in pass deflections. Dante Manning got his hand in there.
So look at the pre-snap look. 3rd and short. Oregon's showing pressure, but then they drop out of it. They only rush 3, and I think that's going to be the game plan today. We've mentioned the Maryland offensive line. They've not been great in pass protection. They haven't been really great up front at all, so there's really no need for Coach Tosh Lapoy to bring pressure. That time you drop 8 in coverage, have extra resources for those talented Terps wide receivers.
Maryland not able to do much with their good field position. The punt is away. Stewart muffs it, and Maryland almost got their paws on it. Boy, did Oregon catch a break. There was Manning to recover the play after Stewart couldn't hang on to it. Terps had a special teamer right in the neighborhood to try and get huge field percentage. Instead, Oregon's got the football back. Football on the Big Ten Network is presented by Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay. By State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by DirecTV. Stream Big Ten football all season long on DirecTV without a satellite dish. First game for the Ducks. Love it. We got the Duck out on the field, the Ducks in the stands. Jordan James and Dylan Gabriel. First completion of the game for Gabriel. They get it to the outside. And Evan Stewart with the completion. Let's go back out to Chicago. Ashley Adamson standing by.
Jeff, it was a wild finish in Bloomington. Final 2 minutes, Michigan down 5 to Indiana and driving. This was on 4th and 10. Peyton O'Leary nearly converts, but he is short. And how about it? The Hoosiers They are still perfect. They've got 10 wins for the first time in program history.
Didn't put up the big points like they normally do. Thank you, Ashley. But a win is a win is a win. Again to the outside. Stewart, did he secure it? Yes, he did. The catch is made. Here's the up-to-date Big Ten standings. Indiana at the top for now, with Oregon right there at 9-0.
What a season Indiana's having, right? They're the story of the conference, story of college football in general. Curt Cignetti toughing out a gritty win, and they're perfect. So are the Ducks.
3rd down and 1. Mark Stewart just short on that pass. Hand it off. Jordan James plunges forward for a first down for the Ducks, and now they can get their offensive momentum going.
It's been a few weeks where just the narrative is, when's Oregon going to slip up? They have that impressive win over Ohio State. Then it's a short week versus Purdue. Could that be a trap game? Well, no, it wasn't. Then you turn around, you play a ranked Illinois team. Could that be a trap game? No. How about Michigan on the road? No, that's not a trap game either. They have looked effectively flawless these past few weeks. Now facing a little bit of adversity early in the game with penalties and drops and a muff punt.
Gabriel, all kinds of time. Ferguson hangs on to that for the catch. And Dillon Gabriel starting to get into momentum. Here's today's Stay in the Game. It's sponsored by Hampton by Hilton. Maryland's got to win the turnover battle first and foremost.
You've got to do something to try to tip the scales in their favor. And the one way you can do that better than any other way is to win the turnover battle. That's a strength of this Maryland defense. They do take the ball away. For Oregon, you're the #1 team in college football. So dictate the terms of play, just like doing this right here. You get to dictate the terms of play.
A lot of eye candy to start that with that formation. 2nd down and 7. Play clock at 3 before they get it away. James on the carry, nowhere to go, and now a flag comes in late. Larry Smith, our referee.
During the tackle, personal foul, face mask, defense number 8. 15-yard penalty added on to the line. Automatic, first down.
It's a nose tackle, Jordan Phillips.
Just a little bit. Not much. It almost looked like his hand rolled right off of it.
So fresh set of downs, 1st and 10. Penalties are a big deal already for Maryland. Gabriel's going to keep it. Gabriel sandwiched down after a gain of 3. Dillon Gabriel, 23 years old. On his 3rd school, started at UCF, Oklahoma last year. Putting up Heisman credentials this year, Jake.
He's the composer of the orchestra. This Oregon offense is so multiple. They can beat you in so many different ways. A number of different schemes, but they need a quarterback that can lead them. That's Dillon Gabriel.
Across the middle, incomplete. Again, Ferguson got his hands on it, but incomplete. 3rd down for Oregon, and he's sniffing down a college record. 177 total touchdowns for Dillon Gabriel. 1 short of tying Case Keenum. 2 touchdowns away from becoming the all-time leader.
How about that, man? I mean, this guy... That's longevity and consistency over time. He's been consistently one of the more accurate passers, one of the best passers in college football. Now leading his team to a #1 overall record, and they'll need him here on 3rd down.
He's 3 for 6. All incompletions, drops across the middle. Catch made, and took a licking too. Big hit by Dante Trader. Evan Stewart. Flock type grip.
So with Tez Johnson down, I expected Evan Stewart to have a big game to fill some of those targets. He was one of the big desired players in the portal this offseason.
And another drop by a Duck receiver. Just trying to check it down to his running back, Noah Whittington. But Evan Stewart, he's a guy who's going to have a big game today with no Tez Johnson.
Yeah, and he's been phenomenal going back to high school. He's a 5-star, #1 wide receiver overall. Then in the portal, he was at Texas A&M, enters the portal, one of the big, more desired recruits. This guy is a phenomenal wide receiver. But Tez Johnson had kind of solidified himself as that wide receiver 1. Evan Stewart really has yet to have that consistent breakout games throughout the season. I think today could be a big one for him.
Another flag flies. It has
false start. offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Tez Johnson with 64 catches on the season, but Dillon Gabriel on the precipice of history.
Yeah, and I played with Case Keenum for the Denver Broncos, so I texted him today. I said, man, do you remember anything about what it felt like to stand atop the record book? You know, think about the entirety of history of college football. And he said, I don't really have to remember. He said, I can feel it right now, at least for a few more hours, right? As we know with Dillon Gabriel, this guy can put up points and score touchdowns in a hurry.
Second down and long. Set up the screen game. That's the tight end, Kenyon Sadiq. Third down and 11 for Oregon.
Maryland came to play today. They came to play. I mean, they hopped on that plane, and no one is really giving them a chance. This is an Oregon Duck team, as we've said, that's been flawless and dominant. Everything's been easy for them. They just imposed their will. And here comes Maryland. They're ready to fight.
Under 4 minutes to play in this first quarter. Oregon has not been shut out in a first quarter this year. Third and long. Catch. Are they going to give him the spot? Looks like he's going to be a yard short. Trayshawn Holden on the reception. Helmet fell off. Fourth down and short for the Ducks in decision time.
Oh, you go for it. What did Dan Lanning tell us yesterday? Holden's going to have to come out with that.
Officials timeout for offensive injury. Can we set the game clock to 3:40?
Holden still down after his helmet popped off and then came back down, now being attended to. 3-0 Maryland. Fourth down and short coming up for Oregon. Already a thin wide receiver room as Trayshawn Holden heads to the sidelines. Fourth down and 1, and this is where Oregon is different this year. Very physical on that offensive line.
That's what Dan Lanning told us, right? They're kind of known as a finesse team, but he told us in the meetings their goal every week is to be the more physical team. And part of being the #1 team in college football, it's a mental battle. So if you call yourself the #1 team in college football, you line up and you prove that you can get that yard.
Jordan James, the lone setback. 4th and 1 for Oregon. James gets it and then some. First down, Ducks. James still chugging those legs to the 29-yard line.
That's beautiful. The crowd loves it. That earns a standing ovation, man. What a physical running back and a physical runner. 4th in the Big Ten in forced missed tackles and yards after contact. We got another injury.
Dan Lanning said it yesterday. The big thing for Oregon, knowing that they're going to run and still getting those yards.
That's what he said. He said he spent this offseason doing studies of the best teams. He said they studied Michigan, who won the national title last year. They studied Georgia the years prior, as that's a King Basote, our impact player, coming off the field. But he studied those teams and said one of the key characteristics was their commitment and ability to run the ball even to unfavorable looks. Like this Will Stein offense is known for some of the finesse. They want to attack your weak points. But for Dan Lanning, there's a physical and mental aspect and an attitude to say, we're going to run the ball even if you know we're running it. We're going to take it from you anyways. That's what that 4th and 1 was about.
Knocking on the door of the red zone. Gabriel to pass. Gabriel steps up. Finds James across the middle of the field. He's inside the 10, stays on his feet. First and goal, Ducks.
That's what's so tough for Maryland. That was good coverage on a trick play. It was going to be a wide throwback. They played it well. Oregon just better.
Going with tempo. Handoff up the middle. James, touchdown, Oregon. "92-yard drive capped with a 3-yard touchdown run for James's 10th of the year."
That's the attitude and physicality that Coach Lanning is talking about. Here's the play that set it up. They're trying to run a throwback to the tight end, Terrence Ferguson, but Maryland, I said they played good defense. It's a good job by Dillon Gabriel getting to his check down. Jordan James, get him down into scoring position, and why not give it to him, right? I mean, he converts you, he gets you the conversion on 4th down, makes that play there to set it up. Why not let him finish the drive with the touchdown?
Another flag comes out. converted a couple of third downs and a fourth down on that drive.
Offense number 50. 5-yard penalty. We'll have the try.
It's already our fourth penalty on a special teams play. 2 for both teams.
Yeah, it's kind of a sloppy start in that sense. But again, like this is what makes this offense so dynamic and dangerous. Maryland played, that was great defense. They were prepared for the throwback and the trick play. They had a chance to tackle Jordan James. He was just better. That's what the best teams do. They take it from you even when it isn't a perfect look or an ideal situation.
An extra point from the 16-yard line is up and good. Oregon puts up points in this first quarter. Huge drive that started at their own 8-yard line. Caps it off on a Jordan James touchdown. The Ducks are flying in Eugene, up 7-3. The Duck fans are alive at Autzen Stadium. A sellout crowd. Number 1 team in the college football playoff rankings. The first week that we've seen that. Big Ten and 4 teams in the top 8. Sappington kicks it away and a fair catch and into the end zone. How about the dominant Ducks so far this season? 30 or more points in 8 straight games. Jake, one of only 3 teams in the nation to do that. Miami, Indiana had that streak snapped earlier today. 7 straight games of 400 or more total yards. Time for the 4th longest. And a 127-plus first-half point differential entering Week 11. It's tied with Tennessee for 4th best in the FBS.
Dominant is the perfect word, and that point differential is key. We know Oregon can score points. That's what they've done going back decades. But you go hire a defensive head coach in Dan Lanning, and now you have a complete team. They're number 11 in total offense and defense this season. Dominance is the perfect word.
Ray gets the carry, and he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Jeffrey Bassa again with the tackle. Edwards able to keep his footing. He's going to run. Got some space, gets around a block, and he's out to the 30-yard line. Experiencing expanded Big Ten Conference like never before. Big Ten Plus. Streamed out some non-televised live events across the Big Ten Plus. Enjoy next-day game replays for every Big Ten game. Subscribe now at BigTenPlus.com. 3rd and 5 for the Terps. Haven't called Ty Felton's name yet. Edwards, flush right. He's going to run. He's got the first down, and the drive continues for Maryland.
This is part of the package that makes Billy Edwards such a good quarterback. Even going back a few years when Talia Tagovailoa was the starter, they'd bring in Billy Edwards. He almost played like a wildcat quarterback at times. And this is what you'd love to see if you're Mike Locksley, because that was great coverage by Oregon. They had all the routes covered up, but Billy Edwards made a good decision stepping up in the pocket, just finding a way to move the chains.
12 rushing touchdowns the last 2 years for Billy Edwards. Handoff on first down and 10, big hole. Nolan Ray with a carry and a good gain downstairs to Brooke Fletcher.
Trayshawn Holden was working with trainers. He put a pad on his right quad there for some extra protection, guys. I saw him. He hit the training table, punched it a few times, and walked away. You see the pad right there, but he's clearly frustrated with what's transpired.
Thanks so much, Brooke. Again, a very thin wide receiver group for Oregon. 2nd and 6. And that will end the first quarter.
Of the first quarter.
Oregon, Maryland for the first time ever. It's 7-3 after 1. Birds of a feather. That is not foul right there. Nice looking hat. 7-3 Oregon. The Terps 2-4 all time against number 1 AP teams. Their last win though 1955. They're hanging tough in quarter number 1. against Oregon on the road.
They've came to play today. Locksley for years has talked about, he said, listen, we don't want to just be a good story. Locksley said his ultimate goal is to compete for conference titles. Obviously a benchmark test here against the best in college football.
Edwards to pass, pressure, had it batted, and it's still complete to the outside and into Oregon territory to Tai Felton. Let's go to Ashley Adamson.
Well, some history made in Oxford tonight, guys. The top of the CFP rankings will certainly look different on Tuesday. Number 4, Miami went down earlier. Number 3, Georgia goes down. Ole Miss, and it was not close. 28-10, the final.
Thanks so much, Ashley. There is some carnage in the top 5. Miami lost to Georgia Tech. You see Georgia go down, and it's, as we came on the air, Jake, an opportunity for Oregon to separate themselves.
Not just solidify, right? Separate themselves, exactly, because every other team has looked shaky. Even Ohio State, of course. Oregon beat them. Then they come off a bye and look shaky versus Nebraska. Oregon's been the one team that's really been clean outside those first 2 weeks. But as we just said, Maryland has came to play. They're throwing all their punches right now.
Picked up 2 on that first down play from the 41-yard line. Handoff up the middle inside the 40 now. Another short gain. And again, the rankings. Oregon, Ohio State with a big win earlier today, shutting out Purdue. Georgia lost. Miami lost. And Penn State's got Washington later on tonight. Big win for Indiana at home against Michigan. Maybe in that 4-down territory for Maryland. Edwards hit, ball is out. Oregon's got it. They're going the other way. Brandon Johnson to the house. A defensive score for Oregon.
And for Billy Edwards, we talked about he knows he cannot hold on to the ball. This is a mismatch. Jordan Burch there on the left side of the offensive line, number 1, working on the freshman left tackle. And that's going to happen throughout the day if they don't give him any help. Jordan Burch is a legitimate NFL talent, a possible first-rounder going up against a freshman in Therese Davis. A mismatch. And a great job getting home, not just getting the sack, but forcing the fumble.
Ruling on the field was a touchdown. We were talking with Tosh Lupoy yesterday. Oregon's been jonesing for a defensive score. They finally got one.
Those are the questions you ask. Like, hey, coach, you've been so good this season. What's the next level? And he said this: take the ball away and start to score on defense.
Of a fumble is under further review.
They're going to take another look at this. Unofficially a 62-yard return for Brandon Johnson, but Larry Smith and his crew underneath the hood, and we'll see if this one stands. You saw that football for Billy Edwards in his fingertips at the time that he was hit by Burch.
Initially, I mean, this looked like he got there in time, right? It's just at that inflection point where he's getting ready to come forward. To me, that looks like a fumble.
Dean Blandino out in Los Angeles. What do you see?
Key is the hand coming forward with control. He brings the arm up, but the defender is going to knock it loose before he can start the hand forward. That's a fumble, and this should be confirmed. Here's another good look. Watch the ball come loose before that hand starts forward.
Great shot there. Thanks so much, Dean. I mean, by millimeters. Maryland had to win the turnover battle and give themselves a shot in this one, and momentum just swung back to Eugene.
Really, listen, it's the best tackles struggle to block Jordan Burch. 6'6", 290. That guy is a freak amongst freaks. And he's going up against the freshman Therese Davis there. I got to look at Billy Edwards, and he's got to know.
Oregon fumble stands.
First defensive score of the year, the sack, the forced fumble for Birch. Boy, are they happy to have him back.
Yeah, and that's Billy's blind spot, right? Therese Davis is protecting his blind spot at the left tackle spot. And, you know, for Billy Edwards, you have to know and expect that this D-line is going to get home. In my opinion, it's the most underrated defensive line in the conference. We talked about Michigan or Ohio State, but this defensive line is disruptive and dangerous, as you saw right there.
Sappington kicks it up and through. That internal clock is ticking for Billy Edwards. Doesn't have a lot of time to begin with. Birch creates the turnover. Brandon Johnson brought it in for the touchdown for Oregon. They're up 14-3. 14-3 Oregon. That is the Ducks baseball team, and they're encouraging one of their teammates, Bryce Boettcher, to come over. Gold Glove winner, 13th round draft selection of the Houston Astros, and also starting middle linebacker for this Ducks football team. He is a stud. And for the Astros to allow him to play this senior season, he's got an opportunity to choose his own journey, right? He could play baseball, he could potentially play football, and here he is on special teams.
Well, that's the key, right? He's a core 4 special teamer, and talking to Dan Lanning and the staff, they think this guy, as he said, could be a legitimate NFL prospect. As a special teamer, he is phenomenal. He could play 10-plus years just playing special teams. Of course, he's a proven quality linebacker as well.
This kick is going to go out of bounds for procedure. Another penalty on special teams.
Kick out of bounds by the kicking team. By rolled the ball in place at the 35-yard line. First down.
So there's the kick. That was Andrew Boyle. And Dan Lanning, our coaching profile, sponsored by Discover. Great tenure here in Eugene. 17-1 at Autzen Stadium. 22-0 in scoring first. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves, but he has brought a grit to Eugene.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, I've been retired a few years ago, Jeff, and just talking to him.
Incomplete, had a step.
A chance on that one.
Shalik Knotts was running free and nobody behind him, but
that could have been a touchdown, right? But yeah, just talking to Dan Lanning, I almost wanted to go down to their equipment room, grab a helmet, grab a pair of shoulder pads, and say, Coach, I want to play for you, man. I was ready to run through a brick wall. That guy is intense, and you're right, brought that grit, that extra element to an Oregon team that's been historically great.
Outside, a gang of Ducks flying to that football. Tysheem Johnson after a gain of 1.
But they've been historically great. The scoring points has not been an issue for Oregon going back to Chip Kelly. So you go get a defensive head coach, and they didn't have to sacrifice any offensive output. They are a complete team.
Switching up the play, got 5 on the play clock. Edwards to pass, Ducks bringing heat to the outside, and a first down, and still on his feet. Finally getting out of bounds is Octavian Smith. Terps moving the chains.
And another nice job by Billy Edwards, too. He's hanging in that pocket. Look, Oregon had a free guy coming off the edge, and Billy Edwards felt that. It's Kobe Savage, number 5. And Octavian Smith won just in time. This is a game of inches. One just quick enough for Billy Edwards to get the ball and move the chains.
He put his foot down and threw a dart to the outside as Hemby maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. Edwards can make some throws. He likes to air it out. I mean, his average yards per throw, number 1 in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, this Maryland team, actually, they have the most passing yards per game in the Big Ten. I mean, that's the identity of Mike Locksley. Consistently, they have dangerous offensive systems, develop NFL wide receivers, so they got some dangerous pieces.
Set up the screen. And Hemby brought down right near that line of scrimmage. Had the right call. Great reaction from the Ducks defense.
It's Nico Reed, number 9. Jabbar Muhammad was my impact player, but Nico Reed has quietly been putting together quite the season.
Swapping out a couple of defenders. Jamari Caldwell to the sideline on this 3rd down and 10. Here's your NASCAR stance on that front. Bring 3. Edwards. Gonna run and falls down. He had 2 Ducks in front of him. 4th down for Maryland.
Again, just that's complete defense right there. You talked about it, Jeff. The NASCAR look. It looked like they were bringing pressure. They have brought pressure on 3rd down. That time they dropped out of it. And the Maryland offensive line, they did a good job of washing the rushers, so Billy Edwards had time, but it's a credit. That's the complete defense. The back end, there was nowhere for Edwards to go with the football.
Gonna punt it away. Got into Oregon territory, and everybody jumped, and the long snapper didn't snap it.
Illegal snap. Kicking team, number 59. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Ethan Goff. 9:55 to go in this first half, and we get our first look, by the way, at Gary Bryant. Back to return this kick for Oregon. That's a big name. He hasn't played since New Year's Day in the Fiesta Bowl.
And it comes at a time where they're thin. Losing Tez Johnson. We saw Trayshawn Holden go down earlier in the game.
Officials stopping play as a Duck was running on the field. And they needed to respot the football. All the T's are crossed. Lowercase J's are dotted. And a bad snap. Able to get this one away. And it takes another Maryland bounce inside the 15, and Bryant picks it up. And Oregon's offense will start at the 12. Special teams been a little iffy for Maryland. Good play by McPherson. Next Saturday, Big Ten Tailgate live from Wrigley Field to get you ready for Ohio State Northwestern. Another great day around the conference. Fun begins 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. You saw Sabrina Ionescu of the New York Liberty, the WNBA champions, on Big Ten Tailgate earlier today. Up early, her husband, former Oregon Duck offensive lineman. Great to see Sabrina, and she said Ducks by 1,000,000 this morning. That was her prediction. Gabriel over the middle and incomplete. Intended for Justice Lowe, who had to run a nautical mile. We've got a flag down.
It was a really weird and awkward hit.
There's no foul. There's no foul. The roughing the passer. The player was blocked into him. 2nd down.
So no foul, just an incomplete pass. But this was a low hit, blocked into Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, and it's coming off the right side of that offensive line. Terrence Ferguson. And that's just an awkward hit, right? I mean, thankfully, Dylan Gabriel's up and moving.
Very scary hit. Everybody had their hearts in their throats there for a moment for Gabriel. He's going to pass. There's Lowe to the outside. Man in space. 3rd down and short for the Ducks.
It's part of this Oregon offense is they simplify things. They can stretch you horizontally, vertically. They can beat you in the run game like we saw last drive. And the composer to the orchestra is Dylan Gabriel. He's the one that makes this all work. Talking to Will Stein, when he calls a play, he doesn't really know what's going to happen post-snap. Dylan Gabriel has the autonomy to make those decisions. And what a luxury to be able to just throw a bubble out and get 9 yards.
Stack the box on 3rd and short. Whittington is hit and dropped. Massive hit by the Terps. That's DJ Samuels who makes the hit.
Now, part of this offense, too, is Dillon Gabriel has shown the ability to run in the read option. And I don't know if this was called as a read option, because from that look, Gabriel should have pulled it. And had he pulled it, likely would have got the first down. But DJ Samuels doing his job of just taking away the runner, forcing a fourth down.
Maryland needed to get a stop. They got it. It's just the third possession offensively for Oregon in this first half. Felton back to receive. Good bounce for Ross James and the Ducks. It'll nestle down at the 30-yard line. Another possession for Maryland's offense. Can Billy Edwards get him in the end zone? Let's talk some legendary Oregon quarterbacks. Norm Van Brocklin led the team. They were known as the Webfoots then back in 47, 48, All-American in 48. Both a college football and pro Hall of Famer. Then Dan Fouts here in Eugene, 1969 through 72, 93 Pro Football Hall of Famer. Set 19 school records during his tenure in Eugene. Then you get into the 90s and the 2000s. Some of the prolific quarterbacks, the Joey Harringtons of the world, Bo Nix the last 2 years, just to name a few. Big drive from Maryland after forcing the 3-and-out. Edwards with time, running the wheel route, catch, good. Shalik Knotts moving the chains.
This is really the key for Maryland, is can they give Billy Edwards time, because that's where Josh Gaddis and Mike Locksley, they have some creativity in their offensive scheme. Shalik Knotts, that route started out as a shallow crosser, and then at the last second he turned it up down the sideline. Not a very common route, but one that won for Knotts, and Edwards was able to find him.
Second catch of the game for Knotts. Edwards throws, slant caught, nice strong hands on the outside. There's Ty Felton with another reception. Falling down. He's so impressive.
Very, very impressive, and just the key to this offense. They look to him in every single situation. It's going to be a fun matchup to watch throughout the remainder of the game. Jabbar Muhammad, Ty Felton, two of the best at their respective positions.
3 catches so far for Felton. He came into this game 7 short of tying the Maryland singles season record. Edwards over the middle, had it batted down, and it's incomplete. 3rd and 7.
Look at Felton there in the slot coming on the crosser. He had him. You see that dig route coming open late. This has got to be the game plan for Oregon, understanding how quickly Billy Edwards likes to get rid of the ball. If you can't get home, your hands have to go up, just like Caldwell did there.
4 down territory from the 40-yard line here, Jake.
Absolutely. You're here to win. You're in a competitive game. You got 2 shots at this. You got to get some yards here on 3rd down at a minimum now.
Pressure coming to the outside. Incomplete. He had his man, but Felton couldn't bring it in.
Billy Edwards is so tough, because once again, that Oregon defensive line was in the backfield, and that's a great throw. It's an accurate throw. I think Felton thought maybe Oregon was going to be able to get a piece of that, but Billy Edwards hung in there strong. I believe it was 55, Derek Harmon, that had the pressure, and that is a great throw.
Going for it on 4th down. Oregon has stopped the last 7 4th down attempts. 6 for 17 overall against this Ducks defense.
This is an area where Billy Edwards' running ability comes into play.
Edwards. Incomplete again. Coverage from Tysheem Johnson, but a flag comes in late. Did Johnson get there too quick?
It did look like he got there early.
Pass interference. Defense, number 0. The ball requesting spot the foul. Automatic. First down.
I mean, you see it right there. Yeah, he's tackling Octavian Smith before the ball gets there. It's an easy call and a good call by the officials. And that breaks the streak of stopped 4th downs. The announcer jinx.
Yeah, this time by a penalty. First down and 10, deeper into Oregon territory. Roman Hemby in the ball game behind Edwards. Pressure coming, set up the screen. It's Hemby with blockers in front and hammered out of bounds at the 25. Boy, shot out of a cannon was Kobe Savage.
Kobe Savage ran from about 20 yards away. Look at number 5 there in the middle of the field. He's playing middle field safety. Now he's off your screen. Bam, and then he comes over. He did not decelerate at all. That's the sound and beauty of football. What a hit by Kobe Savage. My goodness.
Picked up 7. Second down and 3. On top of the screen is the running back Nolan Ray. Edwards. Down he goes, and a flag comes in. Looked like Edwards had his face mask grabbed again. Mateo Uiagalelei was in the backfield.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 55. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
They get Derek Harmon. It was Uiagalelei with the first grab on him.
Uiagalelei had the sack secured, and Derek Harmon just reached out.
Maybe half the distance from the previous spot.
The penalties have been killers for Oregon early in this game, and now for Maryland. This is a huge opportunity to try to score some points and start to put some pressure on the Ducks.
First and 10 from the 12. Handoff up the middle. Nolan Ray getting closer to the end zone. Picked up 5.
Look at the time of possession, Jeff. Maryland is dominating the time of possession right now.
Doubling up Oregon.
16 minutes to 8 minutes, and they continue to extend drives. That time, the Maryland offensive line just completely washed Oregon's defensive front. I think part of that is due to the exhaustion. And again, now if you're Maryland, you have to find a way to capitalize here and get a touchdown.
Handoff Ray again right into the middle of that Oregon defensive front and going nowhere. Can still get a first down inside the 3-yard line. Got to get it to the 2. Edwards looking end zone, overthrew his intended receiver, and another flag comes in. Felton, the intended receiver. Remember, he got grabbed on the first drive. It wasn't called.
I believe it's number 0. Yep, number 0, Johnson.
Pass interference, defense number 0. The foul occurred in the end zone, therefore the ball is to the 2-yard line.
Second time on this drive, it's been Johnson. Remember, he was the guilty party on the 4th down play.
And it happened early, right when he broke to the corner, and Johnson just grabbed his hip. Upper right hand of your screen, you see it right there. You see his arm wrap around. The crowd didn't like it. They didn't show it on the replay.
Trying for the Terp push. Down to the 1. See if Maryland goes tempo here if they take their time. All 3 timeouts for both teams. Remember, Maryland took the football after they won the toss, so Oregon's going to get it to start the second half. Still plenty of time in this first half. Second and goal. Samuels in the backfield as the fullback. Hemby lowers his shoulder. He is in. Touchdown, Maryland. That was an impressive drive for Maryland, aided by some penalties. but they put it all together.
That's what this drive was about. It starts with the pass interference over the middle on 4th down. Then you had the face mask by Derek Harmon. And then another pass interference in the end zone. And if you're going to give this Maryland offense that many opportunities, they are going to capitalize. Really, it's a mismatch in the trenches. Oregon's D-line on the season much more dominant than Maryland's offensive line, but at some point you're exhausted from having to stay on the field. Maryland took advantage by running it right into the teeth of that Ducks defense. 6 penalties already for this Oregon team. You saw the graphic, averages under 5 a game, and the Ducks faithful are quacking loudly. Maryland on the road, down by 4. 14-10 Oregon. Oregon's going to get the football. Potential 2-for-1 situation for the Ducks. Roman Hemby cashing in. Another rushing touchdown for him. A 2-for-1 is important because right now Maryland has really hung around in this game. They have some momentum. All of a sudden the pressure is then on the favorite, the number 1 team.
Oregon's only had 3 possessions on offense. They have 5 first downs and 6 penalties in this game. Here's the We Give Blood Drive leaderboard. It's sponsored by Abbott. Nebraska more than doubling up Wisconsin's product right now. The students can donate at mobile blood drives on campus or any blood donation center across the country. The winning school will be announced at the Big Ten Championship game. Gets $1 million to advance student or community health. So for Dan Lanning and his Ducks offense have only run 20 plays. Dylan Gabriel with an opportunity late in this first half to the outside. Good move by Jordan James on the catch. Picks up 1.
This is part of football. This is just part of every season. As good as Oregon is, we knew that they were going to face some adversity. They were going to face some challenges. This is one of those moments right now.
Got all kinds of time, 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout. Ferguson underneath trying to get out of the grasp of a defender. Couldn't do it. 3rd down and short. Michael Harrison on the stop. And Scruggs assisting to 3rd and 1. Big 3rd down play for Oregon.
Big time 3rd down. Remember that 4th and 1, they just handed it right up the middle to Jordan James.
Talked about it on the last drive. Running the football when everybody in the stadium knows you're going to run it. And still having success. Stack the box. Toss to the outside. James keeps his footing. Takes a lick. But it's 1st down Oregon.
I love everything about that play call and the execution. We talked about it, how they ran it right up the middle on 4th and 1. They hold the huddle, then get up and snap it quick. Everyone's expecting a run up the middle, but they're able to secure the edge there by Jordan James.
2-minute timeout in Eugene. Dylan Gabriel, Dan Lanning, they've got a 4-point lead at home. Number 1 team in the country. Follow at B1G Football right now on X, YouTube, and Instagram. Immediate access to the best highlights, features, teams that you love, Jake Butt's breakdowns, all of it. Don't wait any longer. Follow at B1G Football on social media right now. Final 2 minutes of this first half, Jake, and for Dylan Gabriel and the Ducks, they're on the move. All 3 timeouts, plus they'll get the football coming out of halftime. Gabriel pulls it out. Catch made, stays on his feet, and down to the 45-yard line, Evan Stewart with another catch.
There's really been no downfield passing game for the Ducks, and remember, this Maryland secondary was the weak point. They're giving up the most passing yards per game in the Big Ten, but so far they've done a good job of making life difficult on Dylan Gabriel.
Ducks are going fast. Gabriel slings to the outside. Justice Lowe with the catch and out of bounds, stopping the clock. Another 1st down for Oregon.
That's where these next minute and 41 seconds are so important for both teams. For Maryland, how hard you fought to keep this game close here in the first half. And for Oregon, knowing you're getting the ball coming out of half, a chance to really change the momentum.
Gabriel, you saw the note there, 12 out of 17. All 5 of those incompletions are drops from Oregon. Whittington in the backfield. Handoff. Whittington up the gut, makes a cut near the 20-yard line. Chains move again for Oregon.
When it's rolling, it just looks easy. It looks effortless.
They were in hurry-up mode. Now they're taking their time so that Maryland doesn't get an opportunity to possess the football. This is as good as this Oregon offense has looked all night. Gabriel again outside. Low catches. And wrestled out of bounds, stopping the clock. Picked up 4. So with no Tez Johnson, Evan Stewart with 4 catches. Lowe now has 3. Dylan Gabriel doing a good job spreading the ball around.
Well, he's tried Terrence Ferguson a few times as well, who's had a couple of drops. One of the guys that's had 2 or 3 drops here in the first half. But what you see right now, a lot of quick game, a lot of underneath. They're setting up a double move, whether it's on this drive or going into the second half.
Gabriel, good pocket. Incomplete. Nice play on defense. It was Scruggs knocking it away from Ferguson.
And the coverage is phenomenal. I'm watching the routes downfield. There's nowhere for Gabriel to go with the football. Great job by Scruggs there. But really, no one's open. Coming off the bye week for Maryland. An important stretch in the season here going into November. 4-4. Would love to get to a bowl game. And a big test. Maryland certainly has come to play.
On third down, Gabriel surveys. Outside pass. Ferguson kept his footing enough to pick up the first down inside the 10.
There's the big tight end. I mean, just said it. They've tried him a number of times. Tried him there on second down. Couldn't connect. But he's such a weapon. One of those guys that's going to need to step up as long as Tez Johnson is out. One of the better tight ends in the Big Ten Conference. Just a big target.
No touchdowns for this tight end room. We were talking to the coaching staff about that. Ferguson's got 10 career touchdown receptions. Sadiq and Herbert trying to get it to Ferguson. Incomplete. Second and goal.
That could have been one. He could have been one. He had the momentum. That's something you don't see too often. Dylan Gabriel, one of the big strengths of his game is his accuracy and his ball placement. They just haven't been able to connect. Ferguson got tackled on the 1 last week versus Michigan. Dropped one earlier in the season. It's been one of those years for him.
Still haven't used the timeout. 35 seconds to go in this first half. Gabriel hands it off. Whittington stopped after maybe a gain of a half a yard, if anything. So 3rd and goal, and they use the first of their 3 timeouts.
Timeout.
30-second timeout in Eugene. Halftime show brought to you by DirecTV. Dave Revson, Ashley Adamson, Marcel Reese, and Anthony Herron. Moments away, scores, highlights, everything your way from the Big Ten Conference. On a loaded college football day. Whittington in the backfield. Gabriel to throw it on 3rd down and goal. Gabriel, all kinds of time, end zone. Yes, touchdown Ducks. There's your tight end score, Jake. Terrence Ferguson in for the first time this year.
There it is, and it's a great job up front. Giving Dylan Gabriel, he had all day to throw that. It looked like they were working a choice route to the running back underneath. Maryland took that away, and a good job by Gabriel just buying himself time and waiting for his big tight end to uncover.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
They're going to take another look at it. Did he catch it securely? The other thing, did he ever step out of bounds on that back line at some point? Huh?
Yeah, it was close back there. There's a good shot of the catch. From there, that looked like a catch from that angle.
Ruben Hippolyte was the defender in coverage. We were teasing the tight end touchdowns, and again, the officials are taking another look at it. Great shot here. That looks like a touchdown all the way.
It's a touchdown.
And the other part of this, did he ever step out of bounds? Green shoes on white lines.
That one very close.
You can't tell if his heel is down.
If you roll it back just a half second.
Oh, right there. Is he out of bounds?
It looks like it. It's hard to tell, though.
Dean Blandino's out in Los Angeles as we try and squeeze our picture as much as possible. What do you got on this one?
Great job by the crew, just trying to give the replay team the best possible look. This is what they're looking at. It was a catch, but did he step out of bounds on his own? And it's that heel. Really difficult to tell from this angle. I think that heel touches the white, but it has to be clear and obvious. That's going to be the question. And again, from this angle, it's just really difficult.
I mean, credit to our crew right now. Technical director Andrew Blaustein doing an amazing job getting the right pictures to the replay crew. Again, the catch was clean for Ferguson, and we're going to get the call.
After review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown stands.
Just never had that look if he stepped out of bounds or not. That was clear and definitive. And for Dillon Gabriel, he is now tied with Case Keenum for the most touchdowns in college football history. 178 scores.
It's a lot of touchdowns. Just a great drive by Oregon. I mean, it was intense there, and they needed it, but they didn't play like they needed it. It just felt effortless in the sense they never played beyond themselves. Dillon Gabriel just operated that offense, and it ended with a touchdown.
Another 30-second timeout. 21-10 Ducks. Terrence Ferguson able to get that touchdown reception, the first score for an Oregon tight end. Celebrates with Patrick Herbert on the sideline. Herbert had 4 scores a year ago. Sadiq with 1. Get Terrence Ferguson a score. All the work that he does blocking for these great running backs. Picking up first downs. Good to get those big boys a score.
He's a big friendly target. He's had some big catches throughout his career and throughout the season. Had a key 4th down conversion versus Ohio State. But really, what a great job by Dan Lanning managing the clock of that drive. Again, the Ducks never felt rushed, and now Maryland really doesn't have a chance to do much.
Well, next Saturday, number 2 Ohio State collides with Northwestern from the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Big Ten football, Saturday, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. That's going to be a fun one. Billy Edwards going to take a knee and wind down the final 20 seconds of this first half. Ducks up 21-10. 1 defensive touchdown and a couple of scoring drives for Oregon, but Maryland's hanging tough.
They are, and that's where that drive was so big, as you mentioned, Jeff. 2 for 1. Ducks get the ball coming out of half.
Brooke Fletcher standing by with Dan Lanning.
Coach, first touchdown from a tight end this season. What pleased you from your offensive performance in the first half?
We can be a lot better. We're not playing clean right now to our standard. We've got a lot more left in the tank that we can go attack right now when we get to halftime.
Yeah, 6 penalties from you guys. You mentioned you can play better. How do you adjust and clean that up?
Yeah, you reset. It's a new quarter. It's a new game right now. We get the opportunity to have the ball at half and get an opportunity to be aggressive and take advantage of that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
11-point lead for the Ducks at home. Number 1 team in the country. They'll have the football starting the second half. The Ducks are flying in Eugene up on the Terps.
Terrence Ferguson, his first touchdown of the year. Dillon Gabriel tying Case Keenum, the all-time NCAA record for touchdowns, accounted for 21-10. Ducks over the Terps at the break, the DirecTV halftime. Great to have you with us. Dave Revson, Ashley Adamson, Marcel Reese, Anthony Herron. And we talked a lot in this pregame about how physical Oregon has been, how impressive they've been on the line of scrimmage. What do you make of the first half? Because from where I sit, it doesn't really feel like that's necessarily been the story.
Yeah, they certainly haven't been overwhelming Maryland up front. I thought the Terps, if they were going to keep themselves in this game, they would need to work to make Oregon one-dimensional. That hasn't completely been the case, but we were talking about what an energy giver Jordan James is, and the way the run game started to get going was not only with the offensive line, but with James himself, just out in the open field, running folks over down in the goal line, churning his legs, fighting into the end zone. So you are at least seeing that from Jordan James on the ground.
Yeah, Dan Lanning and this Oregon offense are making an intentional effort to get James involved in the pass game and in the run game.
It was a huge drive to end the half and take that 11-point lead. Terrence Ferguson gets his first touchdown of the season. But Oregon's doing the thing that Dan Lanning did not want them to do, which is give Maryland hope. And part of that comes from 6 penalties, 5 drops. Maryland owned time of possession. What are the Terps doing well?
Yeah, actually, to your point, Maryland came to show. They showed up for this game. They came ready to play and to fight. They weren't going to lay down. One thing, we talked about 2 things that give them a chance. They are owning the time of possession. The next thing is they have to continue to run the ball. Don't give up those chances. They should have got that muff punt at the beginning of the first half, and that would give them the energy to finish this game.
And it's a little bit of a fine line because Oregon is playing hard, but they're not as sharp, to your point, AA, that the penalties, the drops. But you look at that Oregon D-line. I mean, they have got Billy Edwards under duress almost every time he drops back to throw the football. So is there an area where Maryland can try to shore up that pass protection? Billy Edwards is very mobile. We've seen him gain a few yards with his legs on the ground. I do think, though, moving the pocket, just calling him into some pocket movement, just getting him away from some of that duress. It can take the starch out of a defensive line, not just with the screen game, but if you just get him on the go.
Yeah, Jordan Burch, a man on a mission, as we talked about before the game. And the Ducks will get the ball to start the second half. They haven't been terrific in the third quarter. We'll see how that plays out. Much more to come here on halftime. Some drama today in Bloomington. It went down to the wire, but the Hoosiers passed their biggest test yet. The Buckeyes roll, and Rutgers gets right. We'll get you caught up on all the highlights from a busy week of football.
Catch you up on the rest of the Big Ten action. Number 2, Ohio State taking on Purdue. Picking up in the second quarter, Will Howard to Jeremiah Smith, the outstanding freshman. He breaks Chris Carter's true freshman receiving touchdown record in Columbus with number 9 on the year. Buckeyes 21-zip heading into the half, and then more of the same in the second. JT Tuimoloau.
Country fumble.
Yeah, Jack Sawyer strolls in. Buckeyes 45-0.
It was not a walk in the park in Bloomington. Biggest test so far for the undefeated Hoosiers taking on Michigan. Kalel Mullins up the gut in the fourth quarter, so it's a 2-point game.
Fullbacks, feeling that.
Curtis Rourke looking for Elijah Surratt, and incomplete, so they settle for a field goal. It's a 5-point lead for IU. Under 2 to play, Davis Warren needs to convert on 4th and 10. He finds Peyton O'Leary, but he is just shy. The Hoosiers survive 10 wins for the first time in program history. They've got a bye week before their trip to Columbus.
Minnesota and Rutgers. Ethan Kaliakmanis going against his former team. Rutgers without Kyle Monungai, their outstanding running back, injured a couple weeks ago against USC. Unable to go in this one. Picking up in the fourth quarter, 2-point lead for the Gophers, but they fumble it away. Jamison Gears losing it there. Scarlet Knights take over with great field position, and Kaliakmanis finds Ian Strong as Rutgers moves on top. They end their 4-game skid, 26-19.
This one going on right now, the whiteout in Happy Valley, Penn State, Washington. Bo Pribula will not be denied.
Physical finish.
Nittany Lions strike first, up 7 in the second quarter.
We are at the half in Eugene. Brandon Johnson turning in the first defensive score of the year for the Ducks. A 21-10 lead over Maryland. This is the DirecTV halftime.
The Big Ten Live Halftime Report is sponsored by DirecTV. Stream Big Ten football all season long on DirecTV without a satellite dish.
We got volleyball when we're done here on the Big Ten Network. Number 2 Nebraska taking on upset-minded Washington, Marcel. Saturday night volleyball coverage begins tonight, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. It's going to be a little different when we get the CFP rankings coming up on Tuesday. This is what happened for 2 through 5. Georgia loses for the second time this year. Lane Kiffin and company beat them 28-10. Miami went down to Georgia Tech. Texas rolling, though, so a chance to move up in the rankings for some. Meanwhile, Oregon trying to stay right where they are at number 1, but Roman Hemby had some other ideas. The touchdown for the Terps, 21-10. Second half coming up.
Tonight's Big Ten Impact Research takes us to Eugene, where University of Oregon students and faculty are leading research on the cutting edge of sport and performance. The University of Oregon is a founding partner in the new WUSI Human Performance Alliance, a global effort to promote wellness and peak performance through scientific discovery and innovation. Based in the Phil and Penny Knight campus for accelerating scientific impact, researchers in the WUSI Human Performance Alliance at Oregon are working to better understand peak physical performance from the molecular level to the whole body in their efforts to advance human health. About ready to start the third quarter, 21-10, number 1 Oregon out in front of Maryland. We have an extra body in the booth now. Kenyon Barner, former Oregon Duck, an All-American, 3-time Super Bowl champion, is going to be joining us. You were out on the tailgate set today. What has today been like back in Eugene for you?
It's been a beautiful day. It's been a blessing. I started off at the tailgate, as you said. That was a beautiful experience, being on there with Ty and Mike. Then went from there, did a couple sideline shots, and now I'm up here with you guys. I can't complain.
What's this vibe like down there in the field? I know it's different from up in the booth, but what's it like down there right now?
It's a beautiful experience. This is a Eugene crowd. This is an Oregon crowd. You know, these guys are always going to be behind this team. We just got to get it going a little bit more.
Kind of a slow first half for the Ducks, but Jordan James, knew you were here. The running back had a good first half. What do you think of Jordan first half?
I'm excited about him, and I'm happy he's rolling the way that he is. He's a physical guy, physical specimen. He's taking it to the defense, putting his shoulder pads on people and moving this offensive line, and the offensive line is moving guys with him.
We talk about this offensive line, and some of the rap was that this was a quote-unquote soft offense, right? A lot of passing. Yeah. I would say this is not a soft offense.
No, and I've been saying this for a while about this Dan Lanning team. They've been preparing for this Big Ten move long before they moved to the Big Ten. So to have these guys do what they're doing, being physical, and taking care of business up front, especially in that run game.
Well, Dylan Gabriel is going to get the football coming out of halftime. Dylan Gabriel got his touchdown to tie Case Keenum for the most all-purpose touchdowns in college football history. Needs one to stand by himself. Felt like the momentum started to get in Oregon's favor. Sped up that tempo, and they started to roll in that second quarter. The kick is away from Howes. And Dylan Gabriel and company coming back onto the field in Eugene. Here's tonight's first half check-in. It's sponsored by Allstate. Pretty even game, all told, Jake. Just that defensive score is the difference.
Right, and really penalties too, right? The strip sack by Jordan Burch, that was able to get some points on the board for the Ducks. And when you look at the time of possession, a big reason for that is the Ducks defense just kept giving Maryland some free first downs through penalties. So that's what kind of Dan Lanning said. It's a sloppy first half. They weren't playing to their standard, but now it's a new 30 minutes.
Jordan James with 6 carries for 27 yards and a touchdown in that first half. He's in the backfield with Dylan Gabriel. They get it to the outside. Another catch. That's Evan Stewart. With another haul in. Tez Johnson again out in this ball game. And Jake, you teased to Kenyon a little bit about what he likes about Jordan James. What in particular have you seen from him in this dynamic duo with Whittington too?
It's they're very similar in a way. Both powerful backs. Noah has a little bit more speed in my opinion, but their ability to get north and south, really create those extra yards along with the offensive line, getting a push. I really like from what I'm seeing from these guys this year.
What do you think the message was at halftime? I mean, they haven't faced much adversity on the season, a surprising start to the half. What do you think Dan Lanning told his team?
Knowing Dan, listen, let's play our brand of football. Let's lock in, let's slow the game down, and get to being us. I think it was pretty simple.
Final words to Brooke Fletcher going into the locker room. He did not seem overly pleased with the way that their offense was running efficiency-wise as Gabriel escapes one, but he's going to be short, and Maryland forces a 3-and-out.
That was Caleb Wheatland The Maryland linebacker, he just triggered, didn't even blink. Oregon decided to try to go with the run game there, the sweep outside, but
Quayshawn Fuller did a little of the gladiator. We saw that a lot last week in the Big House, huh?
Yeah, you know, when you give it, you got to be able to take it. And you got to be able to take it on that one. Great play by that guy.
So back to punt it away. Ross James. Good boot. Fair catch called for by Ty Felton. Kenyon Barner up in the booth with us. And Kenyon, what's it like for you when you come back to Eugene now?
It's a lot of love. Always has been since my days here, since I left. It's just constant love from this fan base, from the organization, from the staff, from the medical staff. It's something I never take for granted because I know it could be completely opposite. So to be here and receive the love that I receive from these guys, you know, it's a blessing.
You've mentioned Dan Lanning a few times. This has the makings of a special season. What stood out to you about the team up until this point?
It's their physicality. That's what I want to really put an emphasis on that because Oregon traditionally isn't known as a physical team. So for these guys to be able to dominate up front the way that they have both offensively and defensively, that's what's sticking out to me. And that next man up mentality with a lot of guys going down, a lot of guys have been stepping up. So those are the two things that's really stuck out to me with this Oregon football team.
Had a tip past the line of scrimmage. Edwards with that initial arm fake and then finally got it out. 2nd down and 10. Birch has been all over the place in the defensive front.
That's a piece of this game. We mentioned in the first half, Billy Edwards. He gets the ball out quick. This is an inexperienced offensive line, so the antidote for that is in the defensive line. You got to know to get your hands up.
To the outside for Felton, goes all the way across the formation. Good discipline by the Oregon defense. Minimal gain, 3rd down for Maryland.
We haven't talked about this. How about the uniforms by both these teams right here, too? I mean, this has got to be up there as best uniform combination on the whole season.
No doubt about it, and I love what Maryland did. Oregon is known for the Storm LA, Storm Michigan type uniform, so to come in here with the all-white, I love to see it.
Edwards, another 1st down, another big hit, too. Ty Felton moves the sticks downstairs to Brooke Fletcher.
Jake, you gave credit to Maryland's offense and their time of possession here. I spoke to Mike Loxley out at halftime. He said, time of possession is great, but today's game, it's all about explosiveness. All 3 phases, our playmakers, they've got to make plays, and you're expecting them to do this on this drive right here, guys.
Thanks so much, Brooke. And they've driven into Oregon territory with relative ease. 4 of their 5 drives in the first half ended on the Oregon side of the football. They're on the 45 now, 1st and 10. Handoff, Hemby hit at the line of scrimmage. Nico Reed came in and made the tackle. They gave him a yard.
So Maryland's coming off a bye week, and they made some changes. They decided to part ways with their O-line coach, Brian Broswell, promoted Damian Robleski to the full-time coach. And this hasn't, I won't call it a dominant performance for the Terps offensive line, but for the most part, aside from that strip sack, they've came to play and have given Billy Edwards just enough time for him to get the ball out to his playmakers.
2nd down and 9. Edwards again had it tipped. 3rd down and 9 coming up. Uiagalelei. Grabbing the shoulder pad too. Again on Terez Davis. Edwards across the middle, incomplete. Felton wanted a flag, didn't get it. Good defense. Devon Jackson got hit in the back. 4th and 9.
He was calling for a flag, and I'll just say to Felton, you've got a fair share of flags today. I did not see a pass interference on this one at all. That just looks like good coverage to me.
Was he there a little bit early?
Oh, it might have been, but to me, I I don't see that as a pass interference. Would you say that? I mean,
I'm an offensive guy, but I will say he was there slightly early.
But you're a defender first.
No doubt about it. So we're not going with a PI on that play.
Very true. I'm an offensive guy. I'm wondering about my own loyalty.
Bryant back to receive the punt. Fair catch called for and secured from the 14-yard line. Ty Felton, he wanted it. Give it to me. Nah, not this time. A lot of trash talk down on the field between the Duck and the Terp. 21-10. Back high atop Autzen Stadium with Jake Butt, Kenyon Barner, the All-American from Oregon. And you've been in a position where you've been in the #1 spot. You've had a target on your back. What's this like for the Ducks now?
Listen, it's a target on your back, and you understand that. But at the end of the day, just like Dan Lanning said, that #1 ranking doesn't matter. You want to be ranked #1 at the appropriate time. That's when you're holding that trophy at the end of the season.
Dillon Gabriel's got the football again. Went 3 and out on their first possession of the second half. Whittington in the backfield gets that high snap. Whittington's got it. Snakes through a couple and picks up 3 on first down.
Let me ask you this, Kenyon, because I've been trying to figure it out myself. What do they need to do to get the offense going?
Something we need to figure out. I'm a running back, and I've always been a proponent of run the ball until you can't. And we need to take advantage of this offensive line. Obviously, having our offensive lineman out, that's a big loss for us. But you want to be able to run this ball and really open up that passing game for Dillon.
All about the explosives. Only one explosive play so far. There's Ferguson with the catch. Had a touchdown in the first half. The way that a lot of teams, especially we've seen it in the Big Ten this year, with the multiple running back sets, right? You look at Ohio State and Junkins, and the way that they run the football, it keeps everybody more fresh, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I can go back to when I played here at Oregon, myself and LaMichael James, and after LaMichael James, it was DeAnthony Thomas. So it's definitely a better system to keep your backs fresh, and you get better performances out of them, honestly.
Who was winning a race between you and DeAnthony Thomas?
I don't know anyone that's beaten DeAnthony Thomas.
That dude can fly.
Absolutely. 1,000% one of the fastest kids I've ever seen in my life.
Gabriel back to pass on third down, running out of time, able to wiggle through. Throws high and incomplete. Trying to get it to Evan Stewart, and another 3 and out from this Oregon offense. And this third quarter has just been a mystery for the Ducks all year.
And really, this what's so shocking is how good the Terps secondary has been. I mean, Dillon Gabriel did what he does, which is navigate the pocket. I mean, he had 6 seconds back there, and there's just no one open downfield. So it was a good job by him kind of getting out of the pocket and giving himself a chance, but there's just nowhere to go with the football.
Oregon will punt it away. Felton again back. They're going to fake it. Going up the middle, and they pick it up on the fake. Into Maryland territory.
What a play call.
Just what the Ducks needed. .36 yards on the fake punt.
Well, that's one way to run the football. It's like inside zone, lead zone.
How about Jordan Birch? The up man.
Listen, I didn't know he had speed like that. I'm impressed.
I was second guessing myself at 6'6", 290 running down the field like that. Man.
Listen, these kids are freakish athletes these days, and he's no exception to that.
He's had a whale of a game. He had the strip sack, turned into the 6. Now they go trick play. Dillon Gabriel lets it loose. Incomplete. And there's the flag.
There you go. I was waiting on it. It was late, but better late than never.
Stewart was trying to get to that high throw from Dillon Gabriel, and the flag came in late.
I believe if Stewart keeps running on that, that's a touchdown. He definitely stopped on that play.
Yeah, that's clear early contact. Number 20, Perry Fisher, didn't need it.
Now I have a question. From the no-call PI to that, was that PI because it was more physical? He was early.
Pass interference. Defense number 20. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
That's what I see, Kenyon. I mean, that's a clear shoulder-to-shoulder with the ball in the air, and I mean that's a lot more contact. And again, Perry Fisher, that ball was not going to be caught. And now Oregon is the beneficiary of some penalties. But let's go back to that fake punt. That's what makes Dan Lanning a great coach, right? I mean, this team needed a spark. We're wondering what's going on. Dan Lanning backed up in his own territory, calls the fake punt to Jordan Birch. And now the Ducks have a chance to pour it on the Terps.
Whittington sidestepping and gets near the 20-yard line. He's got some shiftiness to him.
Yes, he does. He's a lot shiftier than Jordan James in my book. Jordan James is really that north and south guy, really going to punish you. Noah comes in, kind of throws you off balance a little bit. That off speed back.
Gabriel, a lot of pressure. Gabriel backpedaling, throws off his back foot. Catch with a flag down. Trayshawn Holden with the catch inside the 5.
It's good to see Holden back. Remember, he left the game in the first quarter.
To the pass. Holding. Defense number 20. Got penalties declined. Result of the play. First down.
Get Fisher again with a penalty. It's declined.
Yeah, that's holding, but it's also Trayshawn Holden just running over him right there. I mean, physical at the top of the route. Good call holding, or maybe OPI. It almost looked like Jeremiah Smith's push off to end the game versus Ohio State.
Yeah, that was very physical at the top of the route.
Dillon Gabriel from the 3. Gabriel to pass, catch, incomplete. No, Ferguson got it off his fingertips.
Dillon Gabriel, that was somewhat of a dangerous throw. You know, it almost looked like he was hoping, but that's what I like about Trayshawn Holden's game. He's a different build than the other wide receivers. 6'3", 216. He's got that big body and the ability to go up and catch it, like you saw right there, and apparently the ability to truck stick some defensive backs on his way downfield to do it.
One away from becoming the all-time touchdown leader in college football history, currently tied with Case Keenum. 2nd and goal. Gabriel to pass. Gabriel wide open. Touchdown. Dillon Gabriel all by himself. $179 career touchdowns. Keep that football, young man.
And a great job, too, by play caller Will Stein on that drive. Getting it to number 91, Wilson.
Gonna go for it. How about the offensive lineman bringing it in for a 2-point conversion? Josh Connerly took the snap and ran it in. Seeing all kinds of trickeration on that drive for Oregon. Kenya, been a pleasure, buddy. Enjoy the rest of your time in Eugene. Dillon Gabriel, the touchdown champion in college football. Dillon Gabriel on top of the touchdown mountain in college football history, 29-10, and he hit an offensive lineman, one he will never forget.
How about that? That's a way to bring it home, right? Doesn't matter who you're throwing it to. You just want to get the 6 points. That drive was all on coaching. It starts with the fake punt to Jordan Birch. Then you throw the touchdown to Janoris Wilson. You get a 2-point conversion to the offense. The whole offensive line celebrating on the sideline after that drive.
Josh Connerly brought it in. Janoris Wilson, did you save the football? I mean, that football is worth something to Dillon Gabriel. This is a great setup from the Skycap.
Look at number 91, the right tight end. That is Janoris Wilson, a redshirt freshman that is really an offensive lineman. Normally wears number 78. He comes on the field wearing number 91, and Maryland was just not prepared at all. Here's the 2-point conversion. Josh Connerly, the starting left tackle. So they're relying on the big boys, right? You got your defensive lineman with the run and Jordan Birch, a couple offensive linemen with the touchdown and the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, Jordan Birch had that conversion, like you said, in special teams. Unbelievable. Everybody in that bag of tricks getting involved. 19-point lead for Oregon.
there's no bigger party than when an offensive lineman scores. I've never been a part of a party of when an offensive lineman scores and then they get the 2-point conversion. I mean, those guys are going to have a ton of fun in the film room.
Running the Wildcat offense on that 2-point conversion. Edwards of Maryland, an uphill climb to the outside. Kobe Savage, he's been all over the place as Felton made the catch.
He's so physical, isn't he? My goodness. But I want to go back and just give some credit to Maryland, because this Oregon offense is explosive and dynamic. There was nothing easy about that drive. Maryland's defenses came to play and kept their offense in the game. Now Billy Edwards has to try to find a way to move the stick so they can get some points and try to respond.
6 tackles in the game for Kobe Savage. 3rd and long for Maryland. Edwards going to run it, plenty of space. He's going to pick up the first down and get out of bounds. And Savage went low on Edwards. Gain of 9 for Edwards.
Billy
set it down.
He's so tough. He deserves more conversation about the way he's played this year. I mean, he's been hit as much as anyone in the Big Ten Conference. And what does he do? He just keeps picking himself back up over and over again. There's been a number of times where he's taken shots and delivered strikes downfield. And how about 3rd down with no one open, running it, using his legs?
Going deep down the sideline. Incomplete, flag down. There's a push. Ty Felton has been asking for flags most of the night. Got one on that play.
Yeah, working on Jabbar Muhammad, and it's going to be a PI.
Pass interference. Defense number 7. 15 yards to the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
First down, 6 and change to go. Monday, stream men's hoops on Big Ten Plus. Terps take on Florida A&M. It's one of the thousands of non-televised live events across the Big Ten you can see this season on Big Ten Plus. Subscribe right now, BigTenPlus.com. Back into Oregon territory, 1st and 10. Edwards again goes to the corner and threw it short. Octavian Smith didn't see it in flight.
Edwards was trying to work the back shoulder there, and Octavian Smith thought he had him beat over top, so he was digging, expecting the ball to go over the top. Just a miscommunication there with his quarterback, Billy Edwards.
These wide receivers from Maryland, they have won their fair share of battles against these corners from Oregon.
And they've made life hard. All the penalties, pass interference, holding. That's why Coach Lanning and Coach Tosh Lupoi, they said this is an NFL wide receiver room for the Terps.
Handoff, Roman Hemby.
Hold on.
Picks up 3, another 3rd down for Maryland.
I'd imagine at this point in the game, you got 2 shots at this one too. Maryland's maintained an aggressive mindset.
And they've been living in Oregon territory. Ducks have given up the 1 touchdown. There goes Hemby again. A big hole, and he's got a first down. There goes Savage again. He is just a human missile out there from the safety position.
He is. That guy, we talk about accelerating through the point of contact. Watch number 5 right here. That's a classic throwback safety that just loves to hit you. But a little too late there, and a good job by Hemby rolling off that to find a way to get the necessary yards to get the first down.
That's a Troy Polamalu launch without the hair. From the 38-yard line now for the Terps. Edwards surveys. Edwards gets rid of it. Felton just out of his reach. He had won the battle, but just could not catch up to it.
Oh, so close. This is one of the strengths of Maryland's offense. There's the called play, and then there's the second play. When things aren't open downfield, this is where Billy Edwards' creativity comes into play. Like you saw him leaving the pocket there. And again, it's just in a game against the Oregon Ducks, you have to be perfect. Just a little off on that attempt.
Edwards to the outside. Good pass and a better catch. Octavian Smith on the reception.
And that was a really nice route by Octavian Smith, too, as we get a good look at it. 1 foot down, 2 foot down, 2 feet down. And a nice catch. But this is a good benchmark test. If you're Oregon, you're expecting now to make it to Indianapolis and play in the Big Ten Championship after Indiana's win earlier in Ohio State. That potentially a rematch. Both those teams have dangerous wide receivers.
Edwards on the slant route down to the 20-yard line. It was Smith again on the catch. Third catch of the night for Octavian Smith.
We talk a lot about Ty Felton, talk a lot about Caden Prather, but Octavian Smith is really coming to his own.
To the end zone. Jabbar Muhammad got his hand on it to knock it away from Caden Prather. Very physical on the outside.
It is. Prather is a big body, a physical wide receiver. They're both touching. They're both pushing off a little bit. Great technique there by Jabbar Muhammad to squeeze him to the sideline and almost had the one-hand interception.
8 pass deflections coming into this ball game for Muhammad, the Washington transfer. He's locked up with Prather in the top of the screen. Edwards steps up, got rid of it, flagged down. It'll be a first down if it holds.
There's that toughness, man. He took another shot.
Holding. Offense, number 57. 2-yard penalty. Third down.
Left guard Isaac Bunyan. They gains a first down.
Yeah, working against number 55, Derek Harmon, and the officials are looking right at that. The arms wrapped around the neck. Derek Harmon is a stud. I think he's got a chance to sneak in maybe into the late first round. He's been a key piece and a great balanced defensive lineman.
Third down and long. Edwards knocked away again. Birch. Second pass deflection. Remember, he had the sack, forced fumble, plus a big first down run. He has been aces today.
Yeah, to win the national title, the best teams, one of the key pieces to all great teams is to have one elite pass rusher. You want one guy that can take over the game on the edge. That's who Jordan Birch is. They're happy to have him back healthy. Playing great ball, no snap restrictions, 6'6", 290. I mean, he can bull rush you, but we saw the finesse on the fake punt, too. Agile.
48-yard try, and we're going to get an offsides. Trying to time that snap was Dante Manning.
Offside, undebated, number 8. 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
Tried that on the first field goal, too, and he almost got it.
So does that change the calculus? Do you bring the offense back out onto the field, or do you kick the field goal? Looks like the offense is coming back on from Maryland. So instead of taking the 3 points potentially with a field goal, making it a 2-score game, you bring the offense back out on 4th and 9.
I'm trying to start the play clock. Let's go.
Edwards, incomplete. Tried to needle it into Felton. No points for Maryland on that drive. Oregon out in front, a 13-play drive and a 0 in the score column. More heat on Billy Edwards. Want to talk Big Ten football with a friend? Just tell Siri, call Jesse on speakerphone. Big man celebrations after scoring a touchdown, a record-setting touchdown for an offensive lineman. 179 career touchdowns for Dillon Gabriel. Amazing college career and plenty more to come Whittington in space, first down, still on his feet, across midfield. Noah Whittington starting to separate.
Man, what a run. There's not many guys that can do this. Look how many times Whittington changes direction. There's a few things working there. The left side of the offensive line caved everyone down. Whittington felt that. And then how about the vision in the bounce? He is a twitchy guy. And as Kenyon was telling us, a nice 1-2 punch. Jordan James, a bit more of a physical runner.
Home run hitter Whittington. He's brought down, though, this time on a loss. Nice play defensively by Husky. Go downstairs to Brooke Fletcher. More on Noah Whittington.
Yeah, Noah has gone through a lot in his career, but offensive coordinator Will Stein said you're starting to see him get back to his old self over the last few games. He said coming off a serious injury like that, you can tell he was a little more hesitant on the field to start the season, didn't want to re-injure it, but as more games have gone on, you're really starting to see his confidence grow. Coach said he's a guy that has a lot on his plate, but has been impressed with how he's handled everything like a pro.
Leads the running back room with receptions this year, too. Multifaceted to the outside. It's Sadiq on the catch, maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. How about the big guys, Jake, doing a lot on that last drive for Oregon?
I'll just, being in locker rooms, these are the kind of things that are so fun and make a big difference. Think about the offensive line, the defensive line. Those are selfless groups that their hard work goes unnoticed, particularly up front. So when you get the chance to make plays and score touchdowns and two-point conversions, they love it, but really the entire team loves it as they get to celebrate with the big fellas.
3rd and 11. Sadiq in motion. Gabriel going to run it behind the big boys. Gabriel sandwiched right around the 40-yard line. 4th down coming up for Oregon.
Man, that was a big-time hit right there. He got sandwiched between two Terrapin defenders. I don't think he saw number 10, Trey Reddick, coming from behind him and took a big shot, but up now, and Lanning's keeping the offense on the field.
4th down and 4. Two for 2 on 4th down so far. One of those special teams. Weird snap. Gabriel got rid of it. Incomplete. Intended for Justice Lowe, and a turnover on downs. Pressure was coming. Looked like a knuckleball going back to Dillon Gabriel. Maryland's going to have it with 34 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. Oregon in front of the Terps. 34 seconds to go, and then we too get to shout with you, ma'am. Tonight's trivia on the Big Ten Network, sponsored by T-Mobile. Question: who was the last Maryland player to lead the team in rushing in 3 straight seasons? Roman Hemby's got an opportunity to do it this year. Who's the last one to do it? Any guesses, Jake?
Do you have the answer? Do you know the answer?
I do. I do. I'm not going to give it away, though.
Okay.
Edwards sets up the screen. Good blocking out in front, and out of bounds goes Preston Howard, the tight end.
He didn't make the tackle, but I'm just having fun watching Kobe Savage fly around out there. Oh, my goodness. Talk about playing with a reckless abandon. That's Kobe Savage.
Time ticking away. Edwards going to get at least one more play in before the break. Across the middle. Felton in the open. Down to the 20-yard line. That will end the 3rd quarter. Jake, I hope you're ready to shout, because I am. Getting a little softer, everybody. Just a little bit. Let's bring it up. That lived up to the hype. Otis, he loves us. Handoff up the middle and inside the 15-yard line. Animal House filmed here on the campus of Oregon back in the 1970s. Went and saw the stone where the old Beta House was yesterday. So great. Edwards keeps. Edwards brought down. Great discipline from the defensive front of Oregon.
19-point game, 3-score game. A field goal would make it a 2-score game. You would need 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions.
Officials timeout for defensive injury.
Oregon defender down at the moment. And it's Jordan Burch.
Correction. This will not be a media timeout.
Burch slow to get up. He has had an amazing game today. First time he's been full bore. Was limited last time out against Michigan. He's such a critical piece on and off the field for Oregon.
Hopefully nothing too serious. They're going to need him down the stretch of this season as they make a run for the conference title and the national title, and a big piece too on third down. Big missing piece without him here on third down.
Edwards steps up. Edwards feeling the heat, brought down inside the 10. 4th down for Maryland and a long 2, maybe 3.
And a field goal, as I was saying, would make this a 2-score game, but you're down here and a touchdown obviously means more. 4th and 2, Loxley's going to take his chances.
Passed up points on the last possession. Went for it on 4th and 9, didn't convert. 4th and a long 2. Bringing pressure, floated across the middle. It is going to be a 1st down for Maryland. Got it to the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Terps.
I mean, that Octavian Smith was coming across. He was not paying attention. He was looking in the back end, probably looking for Kobe Savage, honestly, on a crosser. But, I mean, Billy Edwards thankfully took some off that throw and just dropped it right in the pocket. But Octavian Smith, I don't even think he saw that pass.
Grasped it as soon as it hit his belly. But a 1st and goal for Maryland. Big pickup. Edwards, jump pass, incomplete. That was his offensive lineman right there, and that was Marcus Dumerville. Dumerville did the smart thing. The reaction would say, oh, I got to try and catch this, but smart move to duck out of the way.
And I'm wondering, could this be grounding? Because he didn't leave the pocket. I guess you had Caden Prather there close enough.
Intentional grounding.
Or not.
Offense number 1. So lost it down at the spot of the foul. It'll be 2nd down.
Dean Blandino, they got a receiver in the neighborhood, but is he close enough?
It's always a judgment call. I thought if you watch the receiver right there, number 1, I thought he's close enough in the area. Obviously, the offensive lineman did a great job. He ducked. Again, judgment call. Referee felt there was no receiver. He's going to get help from the downfield officials, line of scrimmage officials on a play like that.
Thanks, Dean. Turned out to be a loss of down and 3 yards going backward. And try and run it, leaning forward to the 6. 3rd and goal.
Just give a ton of credit to Oregon's defense to this point, because Maryland has lived down in scoring territory, and yet to only have 10 points, that's a credit to this Duck defense, finding a way to get stops where it really counts. Another big opportunity here on 3rd and goal.
Edwards, incomplete. There's a flag. Octavian Smith was the intended receiver. See if they get Brandon Johnson.
It definitely looked like a holding.
Holding. Defense, number 3. Half the distance to the goal, automatic. First down.
See it right there. I mean, yep, that's clear as day. And, you know, there's this dance of being an aggressive secondary. But this is a big test. I mean, we've talked about it all game. That the receivers for Maryland are dangerous. They're fast. They're dynamic. They're quick. They're great route runners. And Maryland's been throwing to them throughout the day. Oregon's secondary has just been far too handsy.
So in the graphic, 9 penalties on this Ducks team today.
And how many have come on 3rd or 4th downs?
A ton. Hemby's in the backfield, first set of downs inside the 5-yard line. Edwards again, back to throw. Edwards, corner of the end zone, touchdown Terps. Octavian Smith. Terps are right back in it.
Well, that's it. They decided to run it back because Octavian Smith got held by Brandon Johnson. They threw the flag. How about this one? Watch the route on the hash right there. Bang, foot in the ground. Just like a basketball crossover. Oregon selling out to stop the run down there.
Had a late flag come in on the 2nd touchdown of the year for Octavian Smith.
Could have been on the celebration. He had some words for Brandon Johnson.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 0. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Tysheem Johnson, the safety.
Correction, it'll be on the try. What position?
Here he comes right there, number 0, and hands to the face. And they're going to accept it right here because to go for 2, if you get it, all of a sudden it becomes an 11-point game, which means you need a field goal, touchdown, 2-point. But Oregon has been okay playing one-on-one coverage against these Terps wide receivers, and for the most part, the Terps have beat them, at least beating them enough to lead to penalties.
2-point try. Edwards going to run. He's going to pick it up. An 11-point game in Eugene. Billy Edwards showing his moxie. Terps not going anywhere. Touchdown and a 2-point conversion for Maryland, down by 11. Roman Hemby trying to become another rushing champion for the last 3 years. Last Maryland player to lead the team in rushing 3 straight seasons. Your answer? Lamont Jordan. We'll go back to the late 90s and early 2000s. He is the sideline reporter for the Maryland radio broadcast team.
Great player, number 1 all-time in career rushing yards. Part of the University of Maryland Athletics Hall of Fame in 2018. You know, Jeff, I got the facts for you.
You do. Your research is impeccable, always. First and 10 for Oregon. Tuesday, don't miss. Men's hoops. You got the Ducks on the floor against Portland. Live coverage begins at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. This becomes a really big drive for Oregon after Maryland got back on the scoreboard. And Dylan Gabriel in this Oregon offense hasn't felt like they have really been cooking on all cylinders tonight.
They haven't been really on any cylinders. Nothing's been easy for the Ducks. You know, the defense had to get a touchdown for them. They relied on gimmicks with a fake punt and some throws to their offensive linemen. This is just part of the nature of a season, though. Even the best teams find themselves in challenging situations. We get to learn about the leadership and the maturity of this Ducks team, because Maryland is here expecting and ready to compete and try to leave here with the win.
2nd down and 7, and this is the moment that we talked about in the beginning part of this game, Jake, is, hey, Maryland knows you're going to try and run the football and churn up some of this clock. Can you do it effectively and move the chains? Pretty good balance with the offense tonight from Oregon. Go up the middle. Whittington with a huge hole. Whittington has had 2 big runs. Other than that, he's been bottled up by Maryland's defense.
Yeah, this is a great job there. You see the center. You see the left guard, Lalaulu, the center, number 72, one of my favorite players to watch on film. He's got that nasty streak to him up front. He helped open that hole on the inside and spring Whittington up into the 2nd level.
Poncho, the sophomore center. Iapani Lalulu. Gabriel, pressure coming. Gabriel flushed out. He's going to run. 1st down Oregon and then some as he slides down before the 30.
Such an underrated part of Dylan Gabriel's game. He's a pinpoint accurate passer. But in key moments throughout this season, his legs have shown up big. Had the touchdown versus Ohio State late, had another rushing touchdown versus Michigan. And really, I'm shocked at how little space there's been. There's been downfield for the Oregon Ducks receivers. This is why the veteran presence and experience of Dylan Gabriel comes to play, understanding there's nothing downfield, just doing it with his legs.
6 rushing touchdowns on the season for Dylan Gabriel. Had 12 a year ago at Oklahoma. Handoff. Jaden Lamar gets it near the 30-yard line. Remember, the final drive recaps the entire day around the conference. That's coming up tonight after volleyball, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
So an 11-point game, you're just doing the math. Maryland's thinking we got to hold them to a field goal. Dan Lanning in the offense is thinking if we can get a touchdown, get it back to a 3-score game, make it really, really hard to come back from.
Again, the carry goes to Lamar. And a man down for Maryland, and you can hear him screaming all the way up here. It's Tommy Aking-Bisote.
This will also be
take a timeout as the Terps medical staff attends to Aking-Bisote. Football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. By the DQ Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Basket. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good. And by Rinvoq. The Hayward Track Complex on the campus in Eugene. I mean, we drove by that place last night. It is spectacular. This is the track and field capital of the universe.
The whole campus is beautiful, especially this time of year. The shot we have in the booth with the trees changing colors. Just a Midwest guy. You know, this is one of the benefits of the expanding Big Ten. Get to come out here and see this beautiful campus and watch this historically great Oregon Ducks football team in a dogfight with the Maryland Terrapins.
3rd down and 5. Gabriel flushed out. Gabriel, end zone, incomplete. Ferguson was the intended receiver. There was a flag late in the neighborhood of where Gabriel got hit.
He got hit, and one of his own linemen didn't like it very much. And he got up and shoved. So that's 45, Kellen Wyatt with late hit. And there's number 50, Nishad Strother. And I believe that's going to be the call right there on number 50, Strother.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 50. 15-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's a big play because it also knocks them out of field goal range.
It puts you in a must-punt situation here. And Gabriel had released the ball. Wyatt hit him after the fact. I didn't think it was egregious. I didn't think it was late. But Strother didn't take a liking to that and said, hey, you're not going to hit my quarterback. And I understand that. I understand protecting your veteran Heisman candidate quarterback. But you got to do it in another way because that penalty is crucial to your point, Jeff. Now Dan Lanning has no choice but to punt.
Luke Dunn is back to punt it away. Pooch punt is going to be down. Nice play. Keeping the body control. And downing it just inside the 10-yard line. Be back in 15 seconds. Two-score game, 8:01 to go. And the football back in the hands of Billy Edwards. He'll set up shop at the 8-yard line. A nice drive last time out to get a touchdown and 2-point conversion. Can they move quickly enough and keep the ball out of Oregon's hands as much as possible?
The conversation for Oregon is you got to stop the penalties at some point.
Edwards onto his secondary option. It's knocked away again. Amari Washington knocked it away.
He had Ty Felton up top on the curl route. I don't know why he didn't throw it. That's his go-to guy. Would have been a completion, would have been likely a first down. But for whatever reason, Billy Edwards came off of it.
8 pass breakups. And maybe half of those have come to the line of scrimmage from Oregon. Edwards again knocked down right at the line of scrimmage. 2 in a row.
Yes, these plays are so big because there's been space. There's been a number of times, that time included, where he had Octavian Smith on the dig, but the Ducks D-line was able to bat it down. Jordan Burch still not in the game here. Their best pass rusher.
Caldwell has stepped up in a big way. Edwards to the outside, intercepted. Spinning around, Tysheem Johnson inside the 5-yard line. First and goal, Oregon.
Really good scheme by Tosh Lupoi. It looked like they were showing pressure to the left of their defense. And then really late in the snap count, they rotated and brought pressure off the strong side, off the slot. You see there's a free rusher right in Billy Edwards' face, and he had to get rid of the ball, leading to an interception. That was 56, Jaden Moore, that was unblocked off the edge, and the ball bounces right into the hands of Tysheem Johnson.
How many penalties has Tysheem Johnson had tonight? Just made up for it with a pick.
How many penalties is an interception worth, is the question. Worth a lot, for sure. And a chance to really put this game away right now.
Second takeaway for this Oregon defense. One turned into a scoop and score.
That was a great scheme, though, by Tosh Lupoi, playing the mental game against Maryland's offensive line.
Handoff, Whittington has defensive end Tatum Tuioti leading the way as the fullback. Second and goal. Been a while since we've seen Jordan James in the ball game as Jaden Lamar checks in.
Been a really long time since we've seen Jordan James. We're told he's got his helmet down on the sideline, only 1 carry in the second half, so not sure what's going on with Jordan James.
Shovel pass inside, third and goal. Ferguson with a very short gain. Another catch for him is 6. Had a touchdown reception earlier in the ball game. There's Jordan James on the sideline.
Helmet on, moving around, but we have not seen him in a while. One carry in the second half. This is usually where he'd come in and try to run downhill for a touchdown.
Third and goal from the 2. And a false start's going to push him backwards. Evan Stewart, the receiver.
Offense number 7, 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Dan Lanning is going to have a lot to clean up. This is not going to be a fun team meeting on Monday morning when they go over this tape.
They got a good test next week, too, heading to Wisconsin to take on the Badgers. Then a bye, and then finish up with the Washington Huskies. That's Oregon's remaining schedule. 3rd and goal. Gabriel to the outside, and they're going to be short. Nice, sure tackle on the outside by Perry Fisher. Lowell made the catch, and Fisher staying down on the sidelines.
Official timeout for defensive injury.
Such a huge stop by Fisher, and we can't talk enough about how great this Maryland Terrapins defense has been today. You think about some of the points, that's been because of the Oregon Ducks defense. Their special teams has helped Oregon score some points. And now what a critical stop backed up. This is going to be a field goal. Really, this game is completely. They're still completely in this game, Jeff. If they make this field goal, it's a 14-point game, and a huge stop there by Maryland.
So Sappington is on for a 20-yard try. Kick is up and through. 2-score game. 5:47 to go. Maryland's going to get the football when we come back. Singing along with John Denver. 32-18, Oregon leading. It's a great vibe here at Autzen Stadium. We were shouting. I don't believe Lloyd Christmas for a second, by the way. John Denver knew exactly what he was talking about. Here's tonight's Women's Sports Spotlight. It's sponsored by Allstate. Following us, number 2 Nebraska and Washington. Tonight some volleyball, and then tomorrow some women's hoops. Baylor and Oregon from Eugene. Dan Lanning and his coaching staff. Oregon's put up 32 points. They've had 2 takeaways in this ball game, a scoop and score. Dillon Gabriel set the all-time touchdown mark tonight, but certainly some things to clean up before their next matchup at Camp Randall. Edwards down by 14 to the outside, incomplete, no flag. Coming up after the game, Big Ten Live Football postgame sponsored by State Farm, breaks down all the action. Dave, Ashley, Marcel, Anthony finish up a busy day in conference. Got scores, highlights from this one, and around the rest at the Big Ten. Maryland has shown a lot of good things today, Jake. They have been in Oregon territory more often than not, too.
One of the things they wanted to correct coming off a bye week, the offensive line has done their job. The back end of the defense has made life difficult. A lot of great things.
Edwards slips it out. Prather with the catch. Slips one, and he's out to the 40-yard line. Caden Prather's had a quiet night, just his second catch.
This drive is effectively the game here, right? 3rd down. Down 14 points. No safety help in the pre-snap structure here. Oregon showing heavy blitz.
Bring an extra man. Edwards backpedaling. And it's intercepted. Justin Jacobs, the linebacker, his first pick of the year, puts this one in Oregon's back pocket.
What a way to end the day for Justin Jacobs and Billy Edwards. So tough. Kept his team in it and made so many plays up until this point. And Justin Jacobs, as you mentioned, as a linebacker, reaching out his long arms and coming up with the interception on Caden Prather. That man right there gave his team every chance to win this game.
Officials are going to look at this one more time and make sure that Jacobs did secure this catch and interception. And for Michael Locksley, a long trip out to the West Coast. First time he's ever matched up with Oregon. Does Jacobs have full control all the way to the ground?
That's an interception.
I would say so too.
That's an interception.
Great look here. He's got his football wrapped, his hand wrapped around that football with full control. There's not a lot of movement there.
Just to go back to what you were saying there. Get to it in a second as we bring in Dean. Dean, what do you see?
So we're looking at the football here, slight movement versus loss of control. Let's see what the call is.
Yeah, this one's going to stand.
And that's the right call.
We're all on the same page here.
Not enough to overturn.
A pretty good catch by the linebacker. Thank you, Dean.
Just going back to what you were saying there, Jeff, talking about Mike Locksley and coming off a bye week. This season has had some good moments, had some tough moments, and here we are in November. Just so important for Maryland to get to that bowl game. They talk about the youth of this team. That bowl game, those extra practices, allowing your team to develop some of that youth is critical, and a lot of good things to build on in the way they took on the Ducks.
Well, tomorrow night,
timeout.
Got a great women's hoops matchup. It's coming your way when the Ducks battle number 12 Baylor. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. We'll take a quick timeout here in Eugene. Oregon Ducks trying to finish this one off. 4:43 to go. Second down and 4 following the interception. Third takeaway by the Ducks defense. Whittington with a first down, and in the red zone goes Oregon.
Well, we'll be watching closely what's going on with Jordan James, but in his absence, Whittington has showed some really nice things. He's a bit of a smaller back, 5'8", 207 pounds, but certainly shifty and quick. He's made some nice plays once he gets up into that second level. Very hard to tackle.
More rushing yards than passing yards in this game for Oregon. Whittington gets it again. And brought down by Jordan Phillips.
Timeout.
Maryland uses their second timeout. Under 4 to play. Back at 30.
Start the play clock.
3:59 to go in this one for Oregon. It's second down and 9 from the Maryland 18-yard line. Jaden Lamar, the lone setback for Dylan Gabriel, passing Case Keenum for the all-time touchdown mark tonight. Lamar wrapped up by the ankles. Another nice tackle by Dante Trader. And the clock will be stopped yet again by Michael Locksley. 30 seconds, and we'll be back. Third and 8 coming up for Oregon. No more timeouts for Maryland. 30-plus points yet again for Oregon, extending their streak. Gabriel across the middle. Catch. End zone. Touchdown, Evan Stewart. His 5th score of the year.
And for Dylan Gabriel and Dan Lanning, this is a great way to end what has been a frustrating day offensively. In the absence of Tez Johnson, we were wondering who's going to be the guy to step up. Well, I believe we have our answer. Gabriel's new go-to guy is that guy right there, Evan Stewart.
Got the swinging gate before this extra point try. Stewart 6 catches, 55 yards and a score. Terrence Ferguson also 6 catches and a score. Ferguson with the big block to spring Stewart for the score.
Those were the two guys that Gabriel looked to in all the situations. Third down, red zone.
Kick is up and good. Dillon Gabriel, 3 touchdown passes in the game. College football's all-time leader now with 180 career scores. Ducks are flying. Five touchdowns by 5 different players tonight for the Oregon Ducks. Next Saturday, number 2 Ohio State collides with Northwestern at Wrigley Field on the north side of Chicago. Big Ten football Saturday at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Now, Jake, you have thrown out a first pitch at Wrigley Field.
I did. What an honor, too. Remember Sister Jean?
Sure do.
I had the impossible act of throwing a first pitch out after her first pitch.
No way.
Yeah, I did. And she threw a strike. I would have hit the batter. To full transparency, I would have hit the batter, but really cool experience.
We're going to have to get some footage of that for next week when we're at Wrigley. Sister Jean from Loyola.
What a fun season we've had, too. And the new Big Ten, the new era of college football. We were at Washington last week, getting to see this beautiful stadium. These fans they might have been the player of the game today next to Jordan Birch.
This place was a blast. Kenyon Barner joining us for a little bit, coming out of the halftime break, and telling us all about what a great vibe this has been. I mean, just being here for the last couple of days and seeing how beautiful this place is in the fall. MJ Morris takes over quarterback for Maryland. And we'll have a fall start. Spectacular day yesterday.
False start. Offense, number 70. How's that penalty? First down.
Center Josh Kaltenberger. And, the bracket just announced this week. This is what it would look like. Oregon and then potentially a matchup with Indiana if they can get past Tennessee in that first round. I mean, this is all going to be crazy for the next few weeks until it's all said and done. But 4 teams in the top 8.
Yeah, well, if you go off that bracket, whether it's Indiana or Tennessee, and whether it's Indiana or Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship, this game is really important for Dan Lanning because every team I just mentioned, they have dangerous downfield passing attacks. And they have the weapons outside and the quarterbacks to stress you. Of course, Oregon knows this. They already played Ohio State. But Maryland found something today. They were fearless in attacking this Ducks secondary. And, Dan Lanning, Tosh Lupoi, these are aggressive guys, aggressive coaches. They love physical defense. We've used that word a number of times today, but too physical today. And these types of penalties they won't be able to get away with in those bigger games as the season goes on.
The top 5 in college football is going to be totally different with Georgia losing earlier today, Miami losing earlier today. Ohio State shut out Purdue. You got Oregon up by 21 right now. Ashton Porter, the defensive end, making the tackle, but the top 5 is going to look totally different.
Well, yeah, then to your point right there, that's also this was not a perfect game for Oregon, but the fact of the matter is they won. You have to win the games that are a bit ugly, that you don't play great. Not every team can say that. And really, you look at, as you go through this season, Georgia was a popular pick to win the national title. They've slipped up. Texas was another popular pick. They lost to Georgia. Of course, Ohio State was a team that was picked. The Ducks beat them. So the Ducks are one of those teams that hasn't fallen short or lost a game.
MJ Morris, incomplete, good coverage on the outside. And it brings up 4th down and 10. I mean, there's a situation, Jake, where you could have 3 Big Ten teams in the top 4 when we wake up on Monday.
You very well could. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think the committee was looking at Indiana wanting to see something. And though Michigan isn't the Michigan of last year, that's still a big brand with capable players and a physicality to their defensive front. Indiana passed that test. they hadn't really been tested or played in too many close games this year, and that's another notch on their belt to come out of their home field in Bloomington with the win.
Punt is away. It's a good one. Fair catch called for by Bryant. And Oregon will get it with 2:06 to go. Dylan Gabriel setting the all-time touchdown record today. 3 scores for the lefty QB from Oregon, Jake.
Poised is a great word because it really wasn't perfect today. He was without his wide receiver 1 in Tez Johnson. He was without his starting guard, Marcus Harper. And playing a Maryland defense that really brought their A game. That's the best the secondary has looked all year. And Dylan Gabriel poised throughout the day.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 45 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Had a late flag. Now they said 45. It was 41. That was not that big of a push, but Manning sold it well.
Number 41.
Great acting by Manning. But just to go back to Dylan Gabriel, and it's a theme of the team as well. Not every game is going to be perfect, as much as Ducks fans would like that to be the case. You have to win the ones where it is challenging and where things aren't easy, and that's what you see with a guy in Dylan Gabriel. Never looked phased.
Dragged down, big loss on the play for Jaden Lamar. We're going to have the 2-minute timeout, and think about this. Oregon's offense hasn't been on full cylinders. They've still put up 39 points. All Ducks in Eugene tonight.
Hey everybody, Ashley Adamson in our Big Ten Network studios. Oregon handling business against Maryland. Be sure to join us later tonight on Final Drive. We will wrap up a busy day of Big Ten football and get you caught up on all the action. But first, we got volleyball. Number 2, Nebraska trying to stay perfect in Big Ten play. Harper Murray and the Huskers are in Seattle tonight. First serve coming up at the bottom of the hour. But first, the conclusion of Oregon-Maryland. Jeff, Jake, take us home.
Thanks, Ashley. Huskers, Huskies. Say that 10 times fast. Huskers, Huskies. Huskers, Huskies. This dude is blinged out.
New York.
Unique New York.
He's got a nice NIL package, huh?
You think so? Litter are us? Second down and 15 for Oregon following the 2-minute timeout. Lamar to the outside, making his way to the 40. That is a first down. And for Oregon, oh, excuse me, third down. Looked at the wrong sticks. Third down and 9. Forgot about that loss on first down. Went away, and then the glitz and glam of that outfit really distracted me. My apologies, Jake.
Blinded me, too.
Like we said before, 39 points for Oregon tonight, and they did not look like the number 1 team in terms of what their offense is capable of. And that's a scary thing for the rest of the country.
Right.
Defense looked great, though. 3 takeaways. There goes Lamar. And he's brought down at the 43-yard line. Under a minute to play.
Here's the home stretch for Oregon, too. So you win this game, and then it's going to be a big test, a sneaky test going on the road to Madison to take on the Badgers, a team that has shown some really good things this year and shown they're capable of competing. Also, they've shown some sloppy things. So depending on which Badger team shows up, road game for the Ducks, that's an interesting matchup. Then you got to bye, and then you bring it all the way home to Washington, which is the next notch on the belt of Dan Lanning. Hasn't been able to figure out that formula. And though Washington isn't...
Oregon, the first of the half will be 30 seconds in length.
Washington isn't competing for a conference title. That's a very capable team as well.
Beat them twice last year. And for Dan Lanning, again, it's a totally different team, but trying to exact some revenge. And that game is circled for a reason. if they take care of business in Washington, that's an undefeated season going into the Big Ten championship game against, potentially Ohio State again because they hold the tiebreaker. If they can end up beating Indiana the week before, and they've got that matchup coming up the week before Thanksgiving. But you still got to take care of business. Punt is going to go away with Slosky back to receive it for Maryland.
Don't touch it!
Time will continue to tick away, and it'll finally go out of bounds with 9 seconds left on this clock. First time to Autzen, Jake. Pretty impressive.
Delivered. Absolutely delivered. And to be here for a night game for the #1 team in the country in November, championship season, absolutely delivered. Now we start the long trip home, and for Loxley and Maryland, we said there's no moral victories in football, right? You never feel good about a loss, but there's certainly some great things to build upon. When he turns on that film, I thought this was the best game their secondary had played all season. One of the better games their offensive line played all season too, especially considering the context. And you got a competitor in quarterback Billy Edwards.
9 seconds left from Maryland. They will hand it off, and that will end this ball game. 39-18, #1 Oregon over the top of the Maryland Terrapins. For Jake Butt, Brooke Fletcher, and our entire crew, I'm Jeff Levering saying so long from Autzen Stadium. 10-0 for the Oregon Ducks. You got Nebraska and Washington women's volleyball coming up next. Good night from Eugene.